believe in ghosts, we'll show you something that could change your mind.
Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my sensor light came on and I just happened to glance and see this thing running across the yard.
The presence of something downright frightening.
What these things do is they never eat, they never sleep, and they never rest. And they continuously torment the person that they're around.
Wolfman is some type of a creature, possibly extraterrestrial.
They were dressed in black suits, the black ties, the black glasses, the whole 9 yards.
If you don't believe in ghosts, we'll show you something that could change your mind.
You'll hear the terrifying tales of ordinary people who claim they are living with ghosts. I mean that they've been abducted,
Strange
probed,
monster
and
in the water
manipulated by
behind
aliens.
here.
I am a vampire. I do consume human
Then
blood.
we're going to talk about werewolves.
I believe. Do you believe?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Strange Frequencies Radio with your hosts, Jason Corbis and Bobby Nelson. I am your humble announcer, Matthew McGuire. Today's guests are Robin, creator of My Ghost Network. And now, let's tune into The Frequency.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Corbis of Phase 3 Paranormal, and this is Strange Frequencies Radio. I want to introduce you to my best friends here. We have Bobby Nelson.
Hello, everybody.
And you just heard from Matthew McGuire.
Good evening.
First radio show, and I'm pumped.
Yes, first radio show. You have no idea how long we've been wanting to do this. This has been a month to a year.
Yeah.
I've been trying to set this up, trying to get equipment together, trying to
Save pennies, turn in aluminum cans, and we finally did it.
We finally did it. We're finally here.
Mixing board after mixing board after mixing board. Finally, with the littlest mixing board, it works.
So everyone should probably know by now that this is not going to be a quote-unquote professional radio show. We're going to be goofy, but we're also serious about the paranormal, so we're going to try to talk about things, try to get the stories behind the occurrences.
With a little fun.
With a little fun.
Yeah, exactly, because we don't want to be too serious or take ourselves seriously, or at least too seriously, because that's not the kind of people we are.
So for the first hour, basically, we're just gonna go over a few things.
We're just gonna talk. No, but probably the first thing you should probably know is we want to talk about who we are first. Again, we're a group called Phase 3 Paranormal. We're based out of Toledo, Ohio. We cover northwest Ohio areas and southeast Michigan.
But we will go anywhere.
But we'll go anywhere. We haven't gone to a lot of places outside of there. But we'll go anywhere. And
we'll do anything.
We'll do anything.
Yeah. Well, within reason. within reason.
But just to say up front, if you want to find out more information about us, you can go to phase3paranormal.com, and that's the number 3, so phase, the number 3, paranormal.com. Dramatic pause.
So, a big movie came out this weekend, huh?
Yeah, it was huge.
Big movie.
It was huge.
If you are 14, or if you haven't been living under a rock, or if you're 14 years old and a female. Yeah, you've heard of the movie Twilight. Matt here went to go see it over the weekend.
Yes,
Matt, why?
Well, okay, hold on. Let's be honest. My fiance read the books, and she's like, "Actually, I think you'd like these." So I sat down and read them.
And liked them.
And yes, I did like them. I'm sorry.
I
know. At times, I did feel a little estrogen boost after reading them, but hey, what can you say? So and then the movie was coming out, so I decided to go with my fiance and her little sister and her mom. And about 10,000 14-year-old females from various schools around our area showed up to the movie, and it was an interesting time. The movie was okay, but I lost my hearing after screams pierced my eardrums. But what can I say?
And that was you.
That was me. Yes, actually, my own screams pierced my eardrums. Yeah. So, no, I mean the movie was fine. I will tell you that I have really not been to a movie that caters to tween women, tweeners, in quite some time, if at all. I was not expecting the cheers and the screaming and the and the moans of prepubescent romance. When Edward Cullen first came to the screen, everyone was like, ah. It's like, yeah, okay.
Now, I heard that the vampires don't have fangs.
No, you can kind of see like some pointy teeth in there, but no, they.
At least there's a little bit of a point.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a point, but no, they don't
point
have
to the
fangs.
movie.
Okay, wait.
Books.
I know the listeners can't see this, but watch this. You see that? That's a point.
Yes.
Usually your canines have a
right,
point.
canines, yeah.
Right? No, I mean, they had little points in there. No, the only characteristic about the vampires is they're all hot.
Even the men,
even the guys are like, oh, he's not
I wouldn't mind looking like him.
If I, you'll start to play with the game with yourself. If I were gay, I would maybe date him. Who knows? But no, that's really the only thing really about the they're fast and they're strong and blah blah blah. But overall, it was a decent movie. I wasn't horribly offended by it. I did actually have to turn around and glare at the girls behind me after the fourth, again, eardrum piercing scream. Yeah, I had to glare at them, and I will never ever go to a movie like that again.
Oh, so you won't be seeing the sequel?
No, in the comforts of my own home.
Wait for it.
So, for those who don't know, what's the basic premise of the movie or the story?
Well, the premise of Twilight basically is this girl moves from Arizona to Forks. I think it's Washington. Yeah, or is it Oregon? Oregon, Washington, whatever. One of those.
Look, I have a confession to make. I should probably make it right now. I have
read the books?
I have not read the books. I have had the books read to me, which is even worse. But it's with fellow Phase 3 investigator Amanda.
Congratulations, by the way. She
Yes.
found out she's having a boy.
That's right.
Congratulations, Amanda.
As I predicted, as we all predicted, all the guys in her life said it was going to be a boy. All the girls in her life said it was going to be a girl, and we were right. So.
Yay, testosterone.
Me, I guess I'm the only man left. I've never read the story.
Okay, here's a reason why you should. I'm not saying why you should, but here's a reason why a guy might want to read it. Many guys have trouble meeting women. So you're already married, you don't know this, but there's a lot of guys, fat men like me, balding men like me, have trouble meeting women. And the theory goes that if you were to read this book and you could drop like Edward Cullen or or vampire, related themes in the book, if you could just drop those in casual conversation, girls possibly might look at you for an extra moment or two and maybe pay attention to you.
All right.
So that I'm not going to do that, but people would do that.
I heard that the actors of the movie, they don't even go to the movie theaters and those big theaters where they can do the autographs. They're going to Hot Topics around the United States.
Is that true?
That's true. I saw that on TV. They're going to Hot Topics to do autographs.
Does your dad not hug you enough? Then go to Hot Topic and dress like a retarded goth kid.
But that's the theory. Anyways.
We love goth kids.
We love you guys.
We would like to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Ask you why.
I love you
why
at the front of my car.
No, but yeah. So I've had the books read to me. I'm almost done.
Wait, why don't you explain? You're a 28-year-old male.
I'm 28 years old.
But you get the books read to you.
I get the books read to me. It's story time. It's, we curl up on the couch with blankets and warm milk, and we'll take turns sometimes reading the chapters. So I could say I've read some of them, and some of them have been read to me.
People can't see my head shaking in disappointment right now.
Believe me, do you think this is easy for me to come forward like this?
It only took the first radio show.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to give too much away about myself, but I actually curl up on the couch with a woman and we read to each other. And yeah.
Do you read back?
You mean I've read some of the chapters to her? Yeah.
Do you give?
I give and receive. It's a process of giving.
Now, do you guys do voices?
Amanda is pretty good at doing the voices. All Edward Cullen to Bella to Rosalie to Travis or whatever. I don't remember the other characters.
We've just lost our whole fan base.
I know there's no
Travis.
I know there's not a Travis.
Travis and Skylar.
But
other people who don't appear in the book.
What I'm trying to say is both the men and the women all have this voice right here. They all sound exactly the same. Bella, I love you. I love you too. Edward but Bella, you're just so sweet. thank you, Edward. You know, it's all the same voice. Amanda can do the different voices. She has, you know. Slightly...
And we could actually call Amanda right now if she wasn't where.
At the movie Twilight for the second time. She's going to see it.
The second time? Really?
She's seen it on opening night.
Wow.
She's going with fellow investigator Mr. Dunbar.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Mr. Dunbar.
Mr. Dunbar.
Sup, bro.
Sup, bro.
Sup, bro.
Let's just give him a big sup, bro shout out.
Sup,
right
bro.
When he hears this, he's going to, oh, dude. No, but yeah, she's there for the second time. She wanted me to go today, but I couldn't, obviously, because of the radio show. But we've made plans to either go later tonight or another day.
So she'll see it not only, you know...
Amanda is going to see this movie probably 15 times minimum.
I can't joke. I saw Phantom Menace about 37 times.
And how many times...
And I don't know why. As I sit and know, I mean, I can't use the excuse I was dumb. I was in high school when Phantom Menace came out. It was the most horrible Star Wars movie of all time.
So you know something about dork, you know, like dorkery. And
I'm the hugest dork.
Yeah.
Ever.
You know...
I can speak Huttese. For those who don't know what Huttese is, that's Jabba the Hutt's language.
For those of you who don't care, that's Jabba the Hutt's language.
Exactly.
And for those of you who have girlfriends, that is
You're
Jabba the
not
Hutt's
listening to
language.
this right
Yeah,
now.
who are actually not listening to this right now. But yeah, so
But we basically got away from what's the story about.
Oh, right, yeah. We did. No, the story, like I said, girl moves from Arizona to the Washington area, Pacific Northwest, and there she sees this most beautiful man ever to her, and turns out, you know, like he usually does, that he's a vampire. You know,
as you do.
It's a story here 100 times. She falls for the vampire. Vampires, of course, a good vampire.
No,
you know,
they don't kill people.
No, they don't kill people. They only kill, you know, endangered, you know, species.
That's right. I think I remember them killing like a brontosaurus.
Yeah.
Or a bald eagle.
Mountain lion, you know. They're just
Did you just say a brontosaurus?
A totally extinct species. That's pretend I didn't say it.
Yeah. We're going to edit that out for you.
No, we're not gonna edit it out. It's okay, guys.
Not only are they an endangered species, but they also eat dinosaurs.
Yes, they do. So there's vampires and dinosaurs in the movie, and basically the first movie is about how some bad vampires see Bella with the good vampires, decide that he wants to either suck her blood or something else, and a hunt ensues, and finally there's the big showdown between, you know, Edward, the good vampire, and the bad vampire, and
James. I remember.
James.
Amanda's gonna be so proud.
James,
Really proud.
and there's a big fight, and that's basically the plot of the first book / movie.
Okay, now, when Amanda was talking to you on the phone, what did I hear about a slight twinkle or glow?
There's a lot of things in this movie and in the book series that differentiate from the normal vampire lore myth type thing. One of them is that, you know, a lot of vampires throughout the years in books and stories and all this, they can't see their own reflections. In the Twilight series, they can, if I'm correct. I believe I'm correct on that. Another thing they can do, if you take a picture of them, I think they show up on digital cameras or something like that. But the twinkle, apparently, you know, vampires in general, when you've always heard when they go out in the sun, they'll burn.
Right.
You know, every vampire story pretty much is about that. If they go out in the sun, they'll burn. So they stay in coffins during the day. They only roam during the night. Well, in Twilight, the Cullen family and vampires in general, they can go out in the sun, and when they go out in the sun, they sparkle.
Wow.
They sparkle, and they shimmer.
So they don't burn.
They don't burn.
So it's not a typical vampire story.
It's very atypical.
Not only do they not have fangs, but they don't burn in sunlight. They
don't burn in
twinkle.
sunlight. They twinkle.
They glimmer.
I think even in the book, it's described as if they had diamonds in their skin.
I can see why every male.
Everybody just stopped. Matt, do they shine? In the movie?
You know what? They kind of do. I could let's just say they didn't really like make that effect super brilliant.
Really?
It kind of there's a little twinkle. Enough to know that if you know, this person were a real vampire and you saw him on a sunny day, you'd be like, hey, why is he lighting up like a friggin' light bright over there?
Now, do the other people in the school ever notice?
No, because he never goes to school on sunny days.
Oh, so he's also a he's truant a lot.
Yes. Well, no, actually, in the Pacific Northwest, no, because it's one of the most cloudy, overcast regions.
Oh, that's
of the United States.
That's why it was set in that area because
that's why he's not chilling down in Miami
That's
Beach.
right. Okay. Well, I mean, the guy he's like 90 years old, I believe.
Yeah,
he's
something like
been
that.
Been alive for like 90 years.
Are they at least immortal?
Are they? No, I believe they can be killed, but they have to be like.
Well, of course, all vampires can be killed.
But no.
It's not a stake to the heart.
No stakes.
Yeah, that's right.
They have to be torn apart.
Yeah, completely destroyed.
Completely torn apart and then lit on fire.
Yeah.
So no stakes, no crosses, no sunlight, no.
Does the combination have to work? Can they be set on fire and not ripped apart and still live?
Actually, they can be set on fire. Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, but of course, you have to stop them from moving. Of course, these vampires have super. They're like strong as like Superman, fast as the Flash. They have all these abilities, but none of the weaknesses. And you'd think
they can also read minds.
Some of them, some of the vampires have special powers. Some can read minds. Some can tell the future. So it's kind of funny because it's like they have all these powers, but none of the weaknesses. So you would think a logical person would think that this they would have taken over the world by now and have human camps where they farm humans for their food. But no. Even though they have all these powers,
they're polite.
They're very few and far between. Right? Exactly. They're polite. So right.
They move around a lot. I remember that, because since they've been alive 90 years, they can't go to the same high school over and over. No, I don't know why they just haven't been homeschooled by this point.
Right.
You could just probably get away with that.
Well, we just chill, yeah.
Instead of having to, go through the trouble of enrolling the same kids in the same, in a different school every few years, you could at least, move to a different town and say, I'm homeschooling my children instead of having to enroll them.
And, instead of being the creepy kids who don't go in the sunlight, we're the creepy homeschool kids. Well, I think it's time we put it's time we put our vaginas away. And
well, let me just say this: the main characters are Edward and Bella, and the reason Edward is attracted to Bella is because you're shaking your head again. Bobby is shaking his head again. I wish you could see it because he's so dismissive of me.
We've literally spent 25 minutes.
Have we been talking?
No,
for 25
probably
minutes?
about 15 minutes talking about
Twilight. Let me just get over this one thing. Okay, the reason. People might be asking themselves, why is Edward, the gorgeous vampire, attracted to Bella? And it's because he can't read her mind. He can read the mind of other people, but he can't read her mind. And plus, her scent, the smell of her blood, I guess, is...
she smells like cookies.
Her scent is much more pleasant to him than others. So he's... The tension of opposites, the drama comes from...
Opposites attract?
The single-handed, exactly. The tension comes from, the dramatic and the romantic tension comes from him, wanting to tear her apart and eat her, but wanting to love her.
Right. Right. No, which is true.
True.
I mean, it's opposites attract. Like my fiance and I. I mean, I'm a night person, and she hates me, and
that's why.
Opposites attract. Exactly. Right there. Exactly. That's why it works.
I know how that goes. I absolutely love my wife. She hates me.
Just mere minutes before we started the broadcast today, she's yelling at you.
I know.
That's all you do. It's funny, though.
We may have a segment where she comes in and just yells at me.
Yeah, we should do that. It should be a regular segment. It's a regular part of your life. Why can't it be a regular part of the radio show?
Oh, yeah. So that's basically the Twilight scoop
Twilight
of the week.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
I am going to see it soon, and Bobby's shaking his head. I won't tell him that I've seen it.
No, you'll tell me because I think you've already saw it. You just don't want to disappoint me.
I don't mind disappointing you.
I'm just kidding.
I love to disappoint you. But no, I haven't seen it yet, but I plan on going soon. Anyway, we should probably talk about. Every show isn't going to be about Twilight.
No.
We want to talk about. We're all interested in ghosts and hauntings and the paranormal, of course, and we're going to talk about those kind of things over the course of many, what we hope to be many episodes of the show. But we're also going to talk about things like cryptozoology, which is, Bigfoot and things of that nature. We're going to talk about psi phenomenon, which is psychics, mediums, psychokinesis, moving things with your mind, that kind of thing. We're also going to talk about, hence the title of the show, Strange Frequencies. We're also going to talk about just the world of the strange, the world of the bizarre. Myths, legends, like things like the Lost City of Atlantis, We're going to talk about conspiracy theories. You know, I think at one point we even talked about doing a show with, you know, Bobby here's a huge Beatles fan, and everybody's probably heard of the, you know, was Paul really dead type thing.
I thought you were going to talk about the Beatles are really from the future.
Oh, and that too. We'll talk about Bobby thinks the Beatles are from 2064.
Exactly. There's so many clues in their music.
Like
We'll get into it later.
We'll get into that later.
Different show.
All right, different time, different show. But yeah, we're going to talk about all that stuff. So it's not just going to be about the paranormal. We'll talk about, you know, a lot of different things. But, you know.
Like Twilight.
Like Twilight.
Man.
Oh, God. This is going downhill so fast. No. But no, the show should be interesting for people who aren't just interested in the paranormal because we're going to talk about so many different things. So that's it.
So me and you, Jason, we're active members on a message board called unexplainedmysteries.com.
Unexplained-mysteries.com. There's the main part of the site, I guess, is there's a dictionary and encyclopedia about paranormal things. They do paranormal news. They do a lot of things, but the most popular, I guess, part of the site is the forums section, where you click on the forums and they have, you know, different threads for different types of...
Threads for everything related to the paranormal. Yeah, for
everything, really. Everything for the paranormal, and actually, if you're not even interested in the paranormal, if you just want to talk about true crime or...
Or you want to come laugh at us.
Yeah, you can come laugh at us. There's world events, all kind... You know, you can talk about anything on this board, but the heart and soul of the board, obviously, is the ghost and haunting section.
The reason why I brought this up is because a lot of people know where you and I stand on a certain ghost hunting television show.
What would be the name of that show?
Ghost Hunters.
And Ghost Hunters is by far the most popular paranormal program in the country, in the world. And the team that's behind it, TAPS, the Atlantic Paranormal Society, they're the most, you know, respected team ever. You know, they've probably put the paranormal on the map in many ways. But we have no problem. We're equal opportunity offenders. If we don't like something on the show, we're not afraid to talk about it.
Right.
And something happened recently. Why don't you go into that? What happened recently that, as I would say, probably the number one topic right now in paranormal entertainment or paravision, as you might want to call it, is what? Talk about that.
The Halloween live event in Fort Delaware. There's so many things in question there. First, we'll talk about...
You're not supposed to be here.
Anybody who's seen the show or has even heard of the show in the last couple of weeks has probably heard about that. There was a time while they were doing the investigation where they were just walking along doing a thermal. Jason Hawes, which is one of the two co-founders, along with Grant Wilson, he was doing a thermal sweep of the underground tunnel areas in Fort Delaware, and suddenly out of nowhere, what seemed to me be behind the sci-fi network television camera came this disembodied voice. You didn't see who it came from, but to me it sounded like a recording or over a walkie-talkie, something like that, clear as day, saying,
"You're not supposed to be here."
For those who don't understand my demonic rumbly voice, which was heard by America watching Ghost Hunters Live, is the disembodied voice said, "You're not supposed to be here." But not once. It says it twice.
It says it twice. After it says it the first time, you hear Grant, who is more like the heart. I guess Grant is the heart in the show. He's the sensitive one.
And Jay's the badass.
He's the alpha male. Yeah, he's definitely, that's the parts they portray. Maybe that's who they are in real life. I don't know.
He's the big Grant.
Yeah. But you hear Grant first. When they first hear it, Grant says, "Oh, did you hear that, Jay?" That's not really his voice, but that's the closest I can get.
You kind of sounded like Brian there.
If anybody's seen the show, you remember who
Dude
Brian
Run.
Yeah, you remember Dude Run. But yeah, Grant says, "Did you hear that, Jay?" And Jay's, "I did." What is that noise in the hair in the background? Is that your daughter? Somebody coming in?
That was Addie.
That was Addie.
Going to check on the baby.
Who's Addie? Talk about Addie.
Addie's my wife. Back to Ghost Hunters.
Okay, back to
the
Ghost
one that
Hunters.
hates me.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, Grant says, "Did you hear that, Jay?" And Jay, with his thermal, what was weird to me is that he didn't seem all that interested in the voice. He just said, "I did," and then he just kind of meandered off and, "Well, I'm gonna go do a thermal sweep over here." which struck me as odd because if you're on an investigation, like we've done investigations, I'm sure there's people listening who have done their own investigations, and there's probably people who are listening who are just curious about doing it. The paranormal, as they always say, doesn't perform on cue. So if you would, and a disembodied voice is the rarest thing you're ever going to see, maybe aside from a full-bodied apparition. I've never seen a full-bodied apparition. I've never heard a disembodied voice in this, that was along these lines. But if you hear that, you're going to freak out. It doesn't matter who you are. Taps has
at least an excitement.
At least an excitement, yeah. Taps has been investigating for 15 to 20 years now. They've been in the field. And I give them all the respect in the world for doing this for this long, for making it, for getting people interested in the field and everything. But to not react that excitedly, you hear a voice clear as day say, "You're not supposed to be here," in a demonic and fashion. "You're not supposed to be here," and Grant gets excited, but Jay's just like, yeah, whatever. I'll be over here.
What it looked like to me is that Jason realized they got caught. It didn't go the way they wanted it to go.
It didn't seem like it. If they were indeed faking it, I guess I can never say they definitely were because I wasn't there. I can't say anything.
Again, I'm not saying it was faked either, but it's questionable.
It's questionable.
I will go on record to say that I do think it was faked.
It probably was. If I'm talking about opinions, I'll say yeah. My opinion is that this was a fake thing and that it was either too loud or something happened where it caught them by surprise even. As far as I can't sit here and say factually it was.
Now,
fake,
there's also
obviously,
a lot of controversy on it is that before the EVP is played, Grant's messing with his digital voice recorder for about 3 or 4 minutes.
That was that right after?
Was that after or before?
I think it was after because he tried to play it back. He tried to find it on his recorder and play it back.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and he somehow, being in the field for all these years and using a voice recorder, he could not figure out how to work his voice recorder for at least.
And then conveniently, the batteries were wiped clean.
Just drain my battery, Jay. Because that makes it. I don't know. That to me, that just made it all too convenient that he couldn't. I don't know. It made me mad, and it made me sad.
And then there's of course, the coat tug.
That's another one that everyone's talking about. The coat tug, where Grant Wilson, again, the one of the two co-founders, is walking along at one point where they have it's Jason Hawes, Grant Wilson, and at this part of the investigation, they had one of their guest investigators.
He's a host of a new reality or a new game show, right?
Is
it that Haunted Mansion one?
The State of Panic, I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's some kind. I haven't seen it, but I don't. I'll watch. I watched Ghost Hunters for years. Watched the show. I hate the live investigations for one because they always have to have like a wrestler or
The Miz.
The Miz.
They always have to have a wrestler or a actress or actor from another sci-fi show. I mean, it's all about cross promotion.
Well, their previous ones, they've only usually had one, right?
One, yeah. I think only one each time. This time they had like 4.
Yeah,
3 or 4. They had. Amanda Tapping, which is from a sci-fi show called Sanctuary. They had
Josh Gates.
They had Josh Gates, who's from
Destination Truth.
Destination Truth on Sci-Fi. They had the wrestler,
The Miz.
who is apparently on this show ECW. It's a wrestling show.
He was also on The Real World.
It's a wrestling show, but it airs on Sci-Fi. I don't understand it.
What, ECW?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't get it. So he was on there. It seemed like there was somebody else, maybe just 3, but still, every team had a guest investigator working with them. So, you have Grant Wilson walking along with these other two, Jason Hawes and the guy whose name I forget, who was on a State of Panic.
The British guy.
The British guy. He's a British guy. That's all I know of him. I'm sorry, fella. I don't know your name. I haven't seen your show, but you seem like a nice enough chap. But he's walking along with the thermal cam, which was, I would love to use a thermal cam, and this guy just walks in on the set, and he hosts the State of Panic, but he can use the thermal cam. Now, they're trusting him to catch the thermal evidence for this episode. Yeah, that was a little bizarre.
Well, to set it up, Grant's walking, and in his right hand, he has a video camera. I've watched this 1,000 times.
He's got the video camera in his right hand.
He's got the video camera in his right hand. Then I think they go upstairs, or they're going downstairs. They're going...
Up or down?
One of the two. They end up in a place. Where were they at when the coat got tugged?
I want to say like in the like these underground tunnels.
Okay,
type of
well,
thing.
Grant magically doesn't have anything in his hand.
It's like when he was approaching the corner, he had a camera. When he turned the corner, the camera was gone.
It was gone. Seriously, I mean, you can watch it on YouTube.
The camera had magically disappeared.
And
it does not reappear. It
so
was like a continuity error, only it was live television.
All of a sudden, in the background, you see, I don't know if it was supposed to be caught on camera or not, but you see Grant fixing his collar.
Yep.
Adjusting
his coat.
Adjusting, yes. Exactly where the tug is about to happen.
Yeah, right. He adjusts the collar of his coat, and after he does that, he puts his right hand in his pocket. And from this point until the coat ended up being tugged 3 times. From the point right after he adjusted his collar, the part where his bar to get tugged, until after the 3rd tug, his right hand never moves from his pocket.
Exactly.
Area. Never once does it move. And you can watch that. You could go on YouTube and watch that. It's all verified. And it's weird because you would think, he's walking along, his collar gets tugged, and whoa, what was that and everything. And you'd think that you would. I'm just thinking, human nature would be you're going to reach up with both hands, try to figure out what the hell that was that just tugged on you.
Or steady yourself.
Yourself. Something. Do something with both hands. And so why does your right hand stay down to your side the whole time? Only your left hand.
But not one time.
Bobby's left-handed. I could see your left hand going up. Would you not ever move your... I mean, if something tugged your collar, wouldn't you be trying to check or do something with both hands?
Oh, for sure. You'd use both hands just to check behind your back.
Why would you only use one hand? That's what's weird.
It's not like you had an itch.
It's not like you had an itch.
Seriously,
something tugged on you, and you think it's I guess at first you're not sure whether it was. Of course it's television, so they have little mics and wires and everything going down their shirts, and that we understand. So you're thinking maybe at that point, okay, well, maybe that was just a. I could see where you might think at first that was just my wire or something like that, but then it happens again, and then he starts freaking out. He's just like, something keeps tugging on my jacket. Something's tugging on my jacket. And he's making a big stink out of it.
The hand doesn't move.
But again, the right hand never moves.
It's never even sight. It's never even in sight of the camera.
Yeah. So his jacket gets tugged a second time, and he's making a big deal about it. Now he's freaking out, or at least appearing to freak out about something tugging his jacket. His best friend and co-founder of the group Taps, Jason Hawes, doesn't seem to mind. He doesn't seem to care.
Seriously, again.
He's just
he's already heard the disembodied voice, clear as day.
Clear as day.
Didn't care. Grant's got his jacket tugged 3 times, and he doesn't care. I've been investigating paranormal claims for 10 years. If something tugged me, still to this day, I'm not going to scream and freak out about it, but I'm definitely not going to keep my right hand in my pocket.
Yeah, I mean, we were in a basement investigating one time. Me, Bobby, the team. The team was investigating in a basement. I felt like something touched me on my forearm, and I said, "Guys, I feel like something just touched me on my forearm." And even though we were doing like an EVP session at the time, we all stopped. We all tried to figure out what it was. I was telling everybody it touched me on this arm. I'm using both hands to illustrate my point, where I was standing, everything. And you would think that if something tugged your collar 3 times, you might want to do the same thing.
I would have took my stupid jacket off.
I would have took the jacket. Yeah, that's a great point. I would have taken the jacket off and tried to figure out, is there something that I...
Did I snag it on something?
Yeah, did I snag it on something? It's a old tunnel system. Is there cobwebs? Is there, I don't know. Is there anything that I possibly could have snagged this on?
Now, another big thing about this whole controversy is the way that the jacket was supposedly tugged. Some people claim that it was pulled out, but it's obviously pulled down.
And I thought it was, when I first seen it, it's hard to tell. In regular motion, you see it get pulled, and you just assume it's getting pulled out. But when you watch it in slow motion, and again, people can go to YouTube and find this video, it's broken down 50%, 25%. You could clearly see it's pulled down and not outward, as was repeatedly claimed. My jacket was pulled outward, I was forced back. But if you watch it in slow motion, it was obviously pulled downward.
And, I think that's the most damning evidence, is because I actually spent a good hour and a half, I think it was on Thursday or Friday night, looking through those YouTube videos. And, just the different things they have on there to, kind of prove it was, not real, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's you see this stuff happen, and they slow it down. They show you and I think one of the 2 damning pieces of evidence. One, you see Jason working on Grant's coat. Then after he's done, after all this happens, and he's like, "Okay, partner, you're okay." And he taps him in the back. And after he does that, you see the coat get pulled.
Tugs again.
It tugs again.
So for
down.
the fourth time, this time he didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're thinking, his hands and still in his pocket is pulling that damn string, or someone else is pulling on some kind of string someplace else. It could be trailing under his coat and someone else from behind is pulling it. That's fine. And then as far as the disembodied voice goes, the British guy is talking about the voice. He's saying, "Wow," he's like, it's almost like I heard that in my earpiece here. Yeah. And he says that, and then you can hear the director of the program telling him to shut up.
Yeah.
I wish I could hear that. I've listened to that video. I personally haven't been able to hear it. I didn't know if they really said that in his ear, or if somebody just posted it on YouTube, as a joke or whatever, saying the guy said shut up. I've tried to hear it. I can't hear it, but I've heard people say they can hear it.
You're absolutely right. That editing could be fake as well.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, I just think there's just enough evidence to say, this is kind of shady. And then of course you have the Miz on your show, which which
does nobody's credibility.
Right, exactly. It's like wrestling's real, just as real as this. It's like, which makes you feel bad because again, these guys are lucky enough to represent, I think, ghost hunting.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they really realize that they're doing. I mean, not only are they representing themselves in their whole marketing money-making empire, but they're also representing the rest of the ghost hunters across the country.
They're representing the paranormal field in general.
Exactly. And if they do stuff to fake evidence or to liven up live TV, that's going to make people not trust people like our group and the groups around the rest of the country.
Exactly.
And it makes me. I can understand points of view from like sci-fi saying, "Listen, we have an 8-hour block of this running on Halloween night. We need to make this interesting." At the same time, we need to. I think it's up to TAPS to say, "Listen, we know we signed a contract with you, but we want to be credible. We don't want people. Because honestly, I taped Ghost Hunters this week, and I was going to watch it, but I honestly had such a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't even watch it.
You just deleted it, right?
I deleted it. It's like I can't trust anything they do now, and I think the only thing they can do, in my opinion, to regain my trust is if they come out and said, "Listen, this is what happened. Yes, this is not real evidence. We made a mistake. We thought it'd be fun to work with sci-fi to make this an interesting investigation. We apologize for it." But that's not what's happening. What's happening is people are starting to say, "Hey, we think you faked it." And what's going on, Bobby? They're starting to try to destroy people who say they're fakes.
Well, Grant wrote a blog right after this whole situation, and basically the thing that ticked me off the most about his response to what's going on is that if we don't take their word for it, we obviously hate the show and the field of paranormal investigation.
Which to me just seems like a huge cop-out.
Exactly.
That's how much guts does that take to just say the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people who have been diehard fans of their show for so many years now, they question their evidence. And now those people, well, you just hate the show. You just feel paranormal.
On top of that, that's the one thing that they would preach the most about is question everything. So we're allowed to question stuff, but we're not allowed to question your evidence.
You can question every other show. You can question, the evidence, but you can question, when you get an EVP. If you're doing your own investigation, if you get an EVP, run it through the ringer. Make sure you find every other possible explanation, except for our.
And the thing that this has done is it's basically drawn a line in the sand. Now you got the believers and the people that are just pissed off about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I've been questioning TAP since the beginning of the last season. I've been watching Ghost Hunters since it started, and I used to love this show. Every Wednesday I've been watching Ghost Hunters, and they went from finding two things in a season to not finding two things in the series. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else is haunted.
Yeah, well, you went from 2 or 3 things in a season to 2 or 3 things per episode now per
Serious,
location.
Yes, yeah.
Every location is mad haunted.
And things, and I mean, people have the series, people have the seasons on DVD. They can watch them. Jason would always say, you know me, it's going to take a lot for me to claim something's haunted. He would even go as far as saying, I believe your house may have some type of paranormal activity, but I don't believe it's haunted.
Yeah, but what it is, I can't say. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything like that. It was basically at one point he had to see a full body apparition had to come and slap him across the face before he would say it was before he would say the place is haunted. Now it's a regular occurrence every episode
Yes.
now. They might do 2 investigations in an episode. At least one of the places is crazy.
Oh yeah,
haunted.
seriously, and it's unbelievable stuff. It's stuff that every ghost hunter wishes that they could catch. And I don't want to hear this little excuse of, well, they got access to all these places. No, paranormal occurrences do not work that way.
Well, I mean, look, Taps themselves. Look, I'll give Taps credit where credit's due. I mean, in their blogs, that Jay and Grant have put out on their MySpace blog. For one, I don't think they really like having the wrestlers and everybody on the show. I think they've said that they don't really like it, but they understand it's part of the TV business.
You're going to make the Miz cry now.
They liked the Miz. They said his real name is Mike. I think they said, and
yes,
he
Mike.
was actually a nice guy. All that, but they don't really love having the guests on there.
I made fun of you guys for watching Twilight, and I watched them on the Real World.
But I would say one of the things that I've always appreciated about Taps, one of the things that they've put forward the most, and made a regular part of the paranormal field, is having to question everything, telling you that the paranormal doesn't perform on cue, that you're going to go places and you're not going to find evidence. Maybe the first time, second time, third. I mean, even us, we've went to the same places over and over again and not found anything,
right,
and maybe on the 5th time or something found something, or you don't find anything at all. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Paranormal investigation can be boring. You might be sitting there for 6 or 7 hours.
It's actually about 95% boring.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. You get to be with your friends, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but it can be boring. I mean, you're sitting basically in a quiet house or
waiting for something to happen.
Waiting for something to happen. It's a waiting game, is all it is, and Taps has always said, question everything. Don't be fooled by evidence. You have to question everything. You have to run everything through the ringer to make sure it's real. And I guess that's what upsets me the most, is that they'll say question everything, but except for when it comes to their evidence,
right,
you're not allowed to question it.
Don't question me. I have to go to the bank now and cash this huge check.
I'm Jason Hawes, and you can't question me because I've been in the field for 20 years. Or I'm Grant Wilson. You can't question me. If you question me, you just hate the show.
Not only the show, but you hate the paranormal investigation. This is the direct quote from his blog. I'm not exaggerating this. He said that if you do not take our word for it, it's people that obviously hate the show in the field of paranormal investigation.
Oy, that hurts.
To me, you know what that sounds like to me? Sounds like the people who said, if you don't vote for Obama, you hate black people.
Yeah,
it's that kind of like all or nothing statement.
You Republican, you.
Yeah. Let's not. They always say don't discuss politics or religion in pleasant company.
Okay.
Another show. I voted for Obama. I do not hate black people.
I voted for Obama too. Matt?
We don't have to discuss this.
I voted for the person I wanted to be president.
There you go.
Ralph Nader all the way.
You didn't vote for
Luke
Nader,
Skywalker, actually.
I only could wish.
You could write him in, I'm sure.
I know.
But we were talking about something.
But what? I don't know how to word this. To me, when Grant wrote the blog, to me that just sounds like he wrote that because they'd been caught, and now he's trying to get himself out of it.
Definitely make that argument.
What's the quote from Shakespeare? Thou dost protest too much.
Yes, I think I've even written that a few times on several message boards. Like, why are you protesting so much? I just want to know. I'm not. Like I said, I personally believe that there's been a little, at least some fast and loose play with their evidence over the past couple seasons.
Dude, run.
Yes, but there's been some fast and loose playing with the evidence over the past couple seasons. I think they've admitted way too much that should have been thrown out. They probably would have thrown out in seasons 1 or 2. But oh god, how can I word this? I might think that it's not real, or that there's a little bit suspicious about it. I'm not asking anyone else to think it's fake,
right,
or anything like that. I'm just asking that people question it. That just say it's okay to question things, since Taps themselves.
Well, I've been questioning it for a long time, since the group started, and I can remember where you were a 100%. Like no,
you have to throw me under the bus, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm just saying, like, this has opened a lot of people's eyes. I mean, you can go to the sci-fi forums under Ghost Hunters.
The
and
sci-fi. I mean, the network forums of where they do the show.
And people are just
thousands of people. They've taken big time heat over this.
People are now just registering just to say how much they're disappointed that TAPS would go this far. I mean, and then the night of the reveal, they didn't even explain the disembodied voice. They went through everything, and they were talking about it, and they just go, "Okay, here's your disembodied voice."
Yes, I know. They did.
I thought they weren't going to even include it in evidence.
It didn't seem like they were gonna. They saved it for pretty close to the end.
It was almost a sigh of relief, like, okay.
They just slipped it in there.
Yeah, okay.
Here's your disembodied voice, and over here we have... No, but, another point I want to make is that, we've talked a couple times here today about how you have to take your evidence and put it through the ringer. And if you... Basically, what TAPS has always said, and what the vast majority of any serious paranormal researcher says, is that if it can be recreated...
Throw it out.
Yeah, if it could be recreated, that means there's doubt that it wasn't paranormal. And if there's doubt, you have to throw your piece of evidence out. Now, we've had to do that more times than I can count. And yeah, sometimes it hurts our feelings because we think we've caught something amazing, but then we find out it's this or something.
No die.
No die. Oh, we'll get into that someday. Yeah. But EVP that we thought was amazing until we found out it was another investigator saying, "I'm tired and out of breath." But on the audio, I swear it sounded like that. Like No Die, No Death. We thought it was great. But
I mean, they could have even, with that disembodied voice, they all say it came through the headphones.
Yeah, right.
They could have thought it was real and then said, "We're sorry, one of the sound engineers or one of the producers were joking around when they said that to the earpiece. They didn't know it was going to pick up and through all the equipment."
That's right, yeah.
I mean, they could have passed it off a couple different ways.
I would even say in the next investigation... The one that just happened. See, I'm still watching the show just to see what happened. They caught another disembodied voice. This one said, "I like the guy in the hat."
Referring to Jason.
Yeah, referring to Jason Hawes, who was wearing a hat at the time.
I still watch the show too.
I still watch it. I watch everything really. Even if I don't even like Paranormal State, but I watch Paranormal State.
I watch all the shows too, and you know what? I'm not prejudiced against one. I hate them all.
Yeah,
you know what? There is one show I do like, and I said this to you. Destination Truth.
Yeah, I actually like.
Why? It's because it's almost like our show. He's serious about cryptozoology, but at the same time, he's not afraid to make a joke and laugh at himself.
Of course, they're not hugely popular yet. Maybe when they get as popular as Ghost Hunters, they'll start faking things. I don't know.
What are they gonna do? Put a statue of Tyrannosaurus Rex someplace? Like, look.
They'll start taking evidence. I could see them if a bush moved in a weird way out in the jungle, they would say, "Well, that was probably a Yeti," or something like that. But,
well, another point I'd like to make is that people are so taken in by TAPS that they'll criticize Paranormal State, they'll criticize Ghost Adventures, Most Haunted, but if TAPS were to capture the same type of evidence that these groups that are being called fake for. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll swallow it. They just eat it up.
On Most Haunted, if Yvette Fielding, sees if something gets thrown across the room, that everybody unanimously would be saying Yvette Fielding faked that or Most Haunted faked that. The same thing happens on Ghost Hunters. Grant Wilson sees a wire hanger get thrown across the room twice, even though the camera's never on the wire hanger. The camera is on Jason Hawes the whole time, but a wire hanger gets thrown into the frame.
Again?
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah, not once, but twice.
Now, wouldn't you think that if a wire hanger gets thrown across the room, I think we should probably place a camera...
You'd think.
...where the wire hanger was tossed from.
Well, actually, something even more than that. You always notice how something happens and oh, you guys weren't looking over here, or this happened in my line of sight. Why don't they wear point of view cameras?
Why don't they get helmet cams or something?
Well, no, seriously,
a point of view camera.
Something
that points exactly the way their face is turned. So that way they can't say, "Oh, I was looking over here and I saw this." Oh, really? Because we saw it too. Because it's on that. I mean, because you can get those cameras. They're like the size of a pen.
Yeah.
Really. in a little pack, and you can just put it on your shoulder, whatever. I mean, that way, whatever way your body's or your head's pointing, we see the same thing. I always wondered, is it?
A classic example of that was in the episode where they went to Tombstone, where we have to take their word that they saw the apparition with the white bonnet.
Yeah.
I mean, you see one run, then the other's chasing it, then they stand outside and go, "Well, did you see what I saw? Well, what did you see? Well, you tell me first. I saw a lady in a white bonnet.
That's what
me
I saw.
too. I mean, okay, but we didn't see it.
Yeah, we didn't see it, and it would have been, I don't know, I just think it would
And
be...
there are people that swallow that thing whole.
And just say, well, they wouldn't lie.
Yeah, you don't know them.
There's so many excuses that people bring up. I would say one of the biggest excuses is, well, you don't know them. Jay and Grant care about the paranormal, and they would never do that. How do you know?
Really?
And like Jay and Grant, I mean, look, I respect them, but I don't know them. I don't know them personally, and neither do you. So.
I mean, okay, they're not plumbers anymore, but people still think that they're plumbers
People
because
still think they're out unclogging drains.
They are not doing that.
No, I mean, it's because Roto-Rooter, they used to work for him. Roto-Rooter said, hey, dress up in our little monkey suits every episode. Pretend you're fixing, that takes the four-man team.
It's called a sponsor,
right,
ladies and gentlemen.
To fix the leaky sink. Fix the leaky sink for 30 seconds. Wear our uniform.
Get a call.
We'll cut you a check. And, thank you very much. We enjoyed you working for us. That's all it was. That's all it is. They're not really plumbers anymore. But,
Yeah.
I mean, they might still even, when the show goes under and you guys are done, you can still come back and work for Roto-Rooter. I mean, they might still have their jobs, but they are not. They don't have camera crews going with them to the houses.
I mean, think of all they do now. I mean, they have a network a cable network television show that's one of the most highly rated television shows on cable in the country.
It is. I mean, it rated higher than the last season of American Idol, which is huge.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it did.
I didn't know about that. But yeah, I mean, it's a hugely highly rated show. They do personal appearances. They do weekends where they have people come out and meet them and investigate with them at different places. They're writing books. They're
seminars. I'm sure
they're doing all kinds of things. So I want to know where they find the time to do that.
Or why they're so lucky enough to go with two plumbers.
Yeah, where are they finding the time to plumb and unclog people's toilets and drains?
Well, I mean, and I don't want to sound jealous, and I'm not. Well, maybe a little bit. But no, in general, and it's a fine line to cross. I mean, jealousy and
yeah.
The fact is, listen, they're in this now. This is how they make their living.
Right.
I'm never gonna. I mean, being me, I'm a capitalist. Whatever a man does to make his living, as long as it's ethical,
right,
I'm down with it. Good for you that you actually found a way to do that. So you took ghost hunting, which again, there's nothing professional about it. You cannot get a degree from anywhere that says you're a ghost hunter.
You can get certificates.
From certain groups.
From certain groups, will give you a certificate. Hey, if you want me to write, a certificate down on a piece of toilet paper and give it to you, I certainly will. I got the time.
You have, sir.
I have the time. I have the time to do that. But at the same time, it's not professional. But they turned it into a way to make money, and I'm sure they make a good living. That's fine. Yeah. I have no problem with that. Make your living. Good job.
Right.
What I'm saying is, make that living. Be ethical about it.
Yeah, don't call it reality.
Yeah.
Well, don't present it as real, and then
another example about how it's not reality is even on the live show. It's supposed to be live, but then they'll cut to two different parts. One's with Stephen Tango in the basement or in a tunnel, and they have to walk back.
Back to their Q spot.
Back to their Q spot. Right. Fix their shirt, and then act like. Over here and over here, and then
right.
and then
3, 2, 1. Okay, go.
Yeah, I mean,
get on your spot and now start investigating.
So you have to wonder who you get mad at. Do you get mad at the Taps team? You get mad at Sci-Fi for their shoddy production.
Well, that's another.
That's actually when I first started questioning Taps. I would get in. I've been in so many heated debates about this topic.
People are very passionate about this show.
Exactly, and one of my big things is that we're basically not allowed to question Taps. We're jealous if we question Taps, but then these same people, they will say how crap Paranormal State is, how crap Most Haunted is, and how crap all these other shows are except for Taps. So are you jealous of those shows?
Right. Well, they say what do they say? It's not Taps that's faking things or making playing fast and loose. It's the network.
Well, I originally had made that argument.
Right.
Well, maybe it's not Taps. But
I had at one point.
I started thinking, well, if the network is faking it,
right?
Taps knows about it, so they be just as guilty.
Well, what do people? We read on these forums, we debate with people, and they say, well, yeah, the network, they have a contract. They have a contract that's making them fake things. Well, okay, if that's the truth, They looked at the contract and said, okay, guys, we're going to have to fake something. And then they made a choice. I mean, if that's what the contract says, if it says, look, occasionally we're going to have you fake things for ratings or for, entertainment value or whatever, and they knew that and then they signed it, how does that make them not culpable? That's what I don't understand. Why do you give them the free pass, not knowing them, not having any idea who Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson are personally? You may have met them.
Yes,
that does not make you a friend of theirs.
And you may have.
I've met Bill Clinton. I don't know him personally.
You may have paid $60 to go investigate for a night. It doesn't make them your friends.
They may have been friendly to you and signed your shirt.
You're called prophet.
Yeah.
You're not a friend. You're a prophet.
But no, I mean, I honestly think, and I don't mean to be rude, but it's gullible to think this way, that Taps is above suspicion, that they're the one people you can't criticize, and if you do criticize them, well, it's the network. There's always another excuse for why you can't question them. But if it was the network, if they do have a contract, then they signed it. I didn't sign it. Nobody else signed it for them. They signed it agreeing that they would fake things or whatever.
And everybody seems to think like I wouldn't ask these questions to Jason and Grant. If you give me that chance,
put them on the show.
Yes, if I can get them on the show, I will flat out ask them how much reality is really in the show. Did you guys fake it or what? I won't beat around the bush. I will be as blunt as possible.
So, Jason, welcome to the show. Are you faking things?
Exactly. I'll get right to the punchline. And you know what? He'll probably get mad and hang up.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, I would hope not.
Do you think they actually would hang up? I mean, do you think they would actually?
I would be horrible for them to hang up. Actually,
I would wonder if they would actually be welcome to a debate. A civilized.
Of course, I wouldn't.
Debate.
I mean, again, I have absolutely no proof that they are faking.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's questionable.
And that's what we've been trying to make the point, is that I might be of the opinion that it was faked, but I can't sit here and say I can prove it or that it's a fact that it was
And
fake.
In a later show, I'm trying to get a couple guests that one has already sent me an email of 100 things during the show, not Strange Frequencies, but during Ghost Hunters, that is obviously fake. And I want to get him on to talk about these. And then there's another guy who's made these YouTube videos who is the one who actually started about the controversy of the jacket porn.
Right.
Oh, is the guy who looks like comic book guy from Simpsons?
Yeah.
It could be him. I don't know.
It is.
Is it him? Well, there was, we were talking earlier about, recreating things. There's a group, the Ghost Divas, who did a really great job, I thought, of putting a video up that showed exactly how it could be recreated with fishing line. I mean, they even said it's an old seamstress's trick. If you thread fishing line through the, to the pocket up to the collar. I don't know exactly how they did it, but I couldn't do it. I can't sew.
And I also believe that fishing line is virtually invisible in night vision shot.
And they show that. I mean, they don't show them actually sewing it, but they show them just walking along. Again, the one of the Ghost Divas, I believe her name was Amanda, had her hand in her right pocket, just like Grant, was walking along, and all of a sudden, oh my God, something tugged on my jacket. Shiver me timber, something tugged on my jacket.
And speaking of Ghost Divas, they got kicked off of MySpace.
Yes, they did.
Is that in reference to all this?
That's what they seem to think, is that, I mean, Ghost Divas have never made a...
I love them.
I love them, yeah.
They're blunt and to the point.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, they even said on their website, we can be opinionated bitches.
Hey.
And I love them for that, honestly. I mean, even if I don't always agree with them, which I can't find anything yet I disagree with them about, but even if I disagree with them, I appreciate people with a point and are willing to, or that have educated themselves on their opinion and are willing to back it up. And, they wrote a blog about this jacket tugging incident, I think, where they put the video up. And suspiciously, that was on their MySpace blog, and then one day it's there, and then somebody complained to MySpace or something like that, and
corporate lawyers took action.
And all of a sudden, amazingly, the blog is off.
I did not know anything about this.
The blog is off the...
The blog is off, or they got kicked off?
They got kicked off.
Yeah, the blog is off MySpace. The MySpace site has been deleted. They've since made a new MySpace, but now they're just doing their blogging on a separate site.
Yeah, I would love to get a couple of the Ghost Divas on the show.
Oh God, I want to talk to them so bad because I want to talk about this recreation.
On the YouTube videos, the thing that's so great to me is the little comment that she makes is, it's a cute parlor trick. It's a cute little magic trick, but it's nothing paranormal.
Nothing paranormal. Again, if you can recreate it, you're supposed to throw it out.
Exactly, and that's what
Ghost Hunters.
That's what Ghost Hunters taught us from day one. Even when they would catch something that they would think was evidence, what was the first thing that they do? They'd go back and recreate it.
But when the jacket was pulled live, what was their recreation? Well, let me just tap you. Let me pull down your hood here a little bit. I'll pat you on the back. Oh, I'm looking. I don't see it. Okay, let's move on.
And another thing that they tried to pass off as the evidence was a thermal hit. On the jacket.
Right, on the...
That it was warmer.
That you could see where somebody had pulled the jacket because you see where it's warmer on the one part of the hood.
I mean, warmer by his neck?
By his neck.
Right. And what it is, if you look at the video and look at the thermal, you can clearly see it's because when the jacket gets pulled down, you see the part of the hood that's been exposed, the part that's been on his neck the entire time. And that's why it's warmer. It's not warmer because there was a hand there. It's warmer because it was that was the part that was up against his neck. And if you look, that was the same part that was not only against his neck, but it's the same color on the thermal as the part that was against his neck and his shoulder blades. It's all the same color. So there's nothing paranormal there.
Right. So right now we have to take our first break.
All right. Yeah, it's going to seem like we're beating around the bush here.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be back with our first guest.
All right.
So I'll see you guys when we get back.
All right.
Stay tuned for more Strange Frequencies Radio.
I was offered it all. I take anything that tastes like vanilla. It's my favorite, so I think I'll take it. I can have who I want. I take anyone who's just like you, minus the minutes I spend with it. My preferences never change. Closer it's warmer, better it rains. Things will never be this way. Stuck in a corner, feeling the same. I could go to space. I could only launch from one place. 100 miles I'd roam away from my home. If I was cool, I would show my style off to you. Be a chick magnet, that would be awesome. My preferences never change. See it's warmer, then it rains. Things will never be this way. Stuck in a corner, feeling the same. My preferences never change. See it's warmer, then it rains. Things will never be this way. Stuck in a corner, feeling the same. I was offered it all. I take anything that tastes like vanilla. It's my favorite, so I think I'll take it. If I was cool, I would show my style off to you. Be a chick magnet, that would be awesome. My preference
Welcome back to Strange Frequencies on Para X Radio.
All right, hey, welcome back. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Right before we left, we were talking about taps and why we feel like you should be able to question them. We're going to talk about a little bit more. I don't want anybody to think we're just beating a dead horse here. There is a very serious reason why we're doing it. It's basically because, as we touched on a little bit earlier, taps is by far, hands down, the most, not only the most popular but the most respected ghost hunting paranormal group in the country, in the world, really. Everybody knows who Taps is. And we just feel like when the number one group is being charged with faking things or under suspicion left and right by thousands of skeptics, not just skeptics, but skeptics, former fans, current fans, people want to know what's going on. If they're being criticized, if they're being accused of faking things, that's something you have to talk about. Because if they are indeed faking things, as a lot of people suspect, that's not just going to hurt. That's not just going to hurt Taps. It's not going to just hurt the show Ghost Hunters.
It's going to hurt my group. It's going to hurt your group.
It's going to hurt everybody's group. Yeah, because if they're the number one guy, they're faking things, then that hurts everybody. It sets the field way back. And
well, I mean, think about it this way. Even though 95% of America knew that those two goons from Georgia faked that Bigfoot,
right?
It doesn't matter now. Now, next time, somebody can really find a body, and everybody's just going to assume how fake it is.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's what happens. What does George Bush say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me... You're not going to fool me again.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah. But, you're not going to fool me again is, what it all comes down to. And so that's what's going to happen. If something gets that much publicity, that was on CNN, for crying out loud. There was a press conference on CNN for these people who allegedly found a Bigfoot body. Now, anybody who has studied, the field of cryptozoology for any length of time knew pretty much right from the beginning that was a hoax.
But we all had that little hope.
We were the sparkle of hope deep inside. We're hoping it was real.
Well, I'd figure that people are smart enough not to, issue. We woke up Mila. Anyway, press conferences if something's fake.
Right. But I mean, when you're on CNN, and that was a nationwide story about, these hunters or whatever finding a Bigfoot hunters finding a Bigfoot body, and they're going to be showing it off on nationwide television. That got a lot of press. There was press releases. There was, like I said, it was on CNN. The most trusted name in news, allegedly. And so, if that happens again, the next time, somebody says they find a Bigfoot body, everybody's going to remember that. Remember it was fake, and no one's going to believe it. And maybe someday it'll be real. I don't know, but
everybody asks, well, what does Taps have to do to regain their credibility? In my eyes, cancel their show. Seriously, I think that it's already jumped the horse, in my opinion. If
Shark.
They come out, what'd I say?
Horse. Jumped the horse.
It's already jumped the shark. Sorry.
It jumped the horse too. It could jump the horse.
It could jump anything. Whatever it was to be jumped, it jumped.
If there was a horse there, if there was a cat.
But seriously, now you think about it. They could come out and say, "Well, we faked it." Well, all right, you faked it.
Yeah. Now why should we trust you ever again?
So you fake it. That means I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know, but
But yeah, they say, I don't know how can we put this. People say that they have a contract. They, how can they regain the trust, of ghost hunters and their fans and everything? Well, I don't understand why it's so big of a deal to say, if you're, let's say, sci-fi. Let's say I'm Jason Hawes. Sci-fi comes to me and says, "Well, listen, we're gonna have you. We're gonna play this disembodied voice, through the speaker, and you're gonna, you guys are gonna freak out and say it's fake, or I'm gonna say it's real." I think you have a choice at that point. You can say either yes, I'm going to go along with it, and I'm going to go against everything I stand for in the paranormal field, or I can say no. And people will say, well, yeah, but if he said no, then he's in breach of his contract. So what? So he's in breach of his contract. You know what? Quit and say, sue me. And yeah, you'll probably have to give back money from, the signing bonus or whatever. Not signing bonus, that's not a football player, but, you have to give back some money. And you probably get a little slap on the wrist or whatever, but you're not going to go to jail over refusing to fake anything. And on top of that, you say, sue me, take me to court. Well, now Sci-Fi has to go to court and make it a matter of public record that either, yes, we asked you to fake something. I mean, if it's in their contract, they can lay the contract out, and now Sci-Fi has no more credibility, so they would have to make that choice too.
There's also this argument going around that people are saying, well, it's TV. We know that. That's what we're trying to tell other people, is that TV shows work like this. They get money off of viewers. People aren't going to watch Ghost Hunters or Paranormal State or Ghostly Adventures or any of these other shows without evidence.
Unless they find something.
Now, another thing is, Sci-Fi, if they are having these people fake it, you got to understand the reason why is they don't care about the field of paranormal research.
Do you think they give a rat's behind about the field of paranormal?
They don't. They care about ratings.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they have a wrestling show on a science... I mean, again, sci-fi, science fiction. They have a wrestling show. I mean, do you think they care about...
And there are some people out there that believe wrestling is real.
Yeah. There's still
Dude, it's totally real.
People still think Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler really hated each other back in the day. I mean, that was like a huge thing. That was fake. You know, everything about wrestling is fake. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it hurts to get pile drive.
Dude, I'm going to totally stone cold stun you. And you tell me if that's fake.
I'm going to lay you out. No, but, I mean, seriously, you know, I mean, wrestling's fake. Everything on TV is... Especially if it's presented as reality, it should either be reality or you should say it's for entertainment.
Well, even the news exaggerates things.
The news gets things wrong half the time and exaggerates. I mean, why do you think they have these specials? Always, coincidentally enough, during sweeps, you know, in May and November, where they say, 2 weeks from now we're going to have, tell you how something in your home is killing you. Tune in at 11. Why can't you tell me now if I'm going to die any moment? If I'm going to die any minute, why don't you tell me now? But no, wait till 11. Wait 2 weeks from now during sweeps. It's all about ratings. It's all about viewership. It's all about sponsorship. It's all about money. I mean, just follow the money trail and you'll find the truth.
But, if Sci-Fi doesn't get money, how are they going to put out their excellent movies like Yeti versus the flying pterodactyl monster?
I love the special effects in those movies. They're horrible, but they're so great. They're so funny. Like
they're great. They're great flicks. Yeah.
Pterodactyl runs by, grabs somebody by the shoulders, rips them in half. Blood spurts everywhere. Bowels falling.
But you have to love those movies because they're just so inane, and they have like the best C-list stars you can get. Thomas Howell.
You can't get Ian Ziering just to do anything. Right?
No, you can't. That's true.
Ian Ziering did a sci-fi movie. I don't even remember what it was called, like The Barbarian.
We're getting sued for our first show.
It's an opinion. I think it's. I mean, I have to admit, I watched.
I think it's called slander.
It's not slander. It's just opinion that we.
Yes, this is opinion.
That we. I mean, look, it's we know those sci-fi movies are hokey and funny, and that's kind of like the charm in them. I mean, they don't present those as real. No one believes that the pterodactyl monster.
Whoa! Do you mean the Dungeons and Dragons movie I watched on there 2 weeks ago?
I'm sorry, Matt. Let me. I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to have to tell you this.
What, dwarves with +5 swords aren't real?
Even the dwarves.
Oh my god!
I think we have to
the megalodon.
Explain to the listeners what happened to our first guest.
What? Why don't you take this? I'm sad about it.
Unfortunately, our first guest came down with a high fever. We hope she feels better. It was going to be a very interesting night, but
we promised it was going to be interesting. I could play the part of the of the guest of who it would have been. And maybe we could do the interview with me. But no, it was going to be pretty cool. We're going to talk about a former case we did for. It was basically if anybody's ever heard of shadow people or shadow beings, that was the basics of the case. Her home and her family seemed to be overrun by this shadow figure that seemed to run around incessantly, spy on her while she was in her office. Run about, scare the kids. It really took a big toll on her family, her personal life, her personal life, her professional life. A lot of things were affected, and fortunately, nothing that happened in her personal life was that she got sick today. So she's running 102 fever at the moment. So.
I don't think the shadow person caused that though. Either.
A lot of a lot of the characteristics of the case though, they didn't match that of a typical shadow person.
Right.
And I actually consulted with a good friend of mine, Rosemary Ellen Guiley.
Great friend of ours.
And
name drop.
Well,
if
I'm
she
sorry.
hears this.
What was the name again?
Rosemary Ellen Guiley.
Oh no!
And she suggested that it was probably more or less a dark entity rather than a shadow person.
And actually, Rosemary has been doing, or Miss Guiley, as I like to call her,
Miss Guiley,
close personal friend.
Name drop.
She's been researching ghosts and hauntings and shadow people in general for years, and has written books, written articles. And actually, if you want to learn more about her, go to a website at www.visionaryliving.com, and you can read all about her and her adventures.
Name drop.
That's. I'm gonna be here all night. Okay, I'm gonna be dropping that name. No, but it's cool when you're just a lowly ghost hunting team in Toledo, Ohio, and you get to personally correspond with Rosemary Ellen Guiley.
Name drop.
It's never going to end.
No, it won't.
No, but so that was fun for us, and that's actually the purpose of one of the purposes why we're doing this show. There's a lot of people we respect, a lot of people we want to talk to, and Rosemary Ellen Guiley just happened to be one of them.
Name drop.
No, but yeah, she said that it was more than likely a dark human entity, not really a shadow person, because shadow people don't typically seem to correspond or try to make personal contact with you. Whereas in this case that we investigated, the shadow being or whatever it was, this free roaming shadow figure that they were seeing, it actually went through one of the residents of the home at one point. They encountered it on the basement staircase, tried to make contact with it, and the thing walked apparently right through him, and he got shivers up and down his body, and it was gone. So that's not typical of a shadow person. So she was thinking it was more along the lines of a dark human, which from what we could understand is that it was either formerly human and was some kind of negative entity, negative
or
energy
some type
behind
of
it.
negative creation.
Yeah, I mean, we researched the history of this house. Any ghost hunting team, they have to, not only just do the investigation portion of the business, but you also have to do a lot of research, because you don't want to just investigate and say, yeah, the house seems to have some paranormal activity, or no, it doesn't. If it does, you want to be able to tell the homeowner what's causing it, who from the past it might have been. So that, that's we got to go deep into the history then to find out who lived there before, what their lives were like, what they experienced. And at this house in particular, we ended up having to go down to the police station and get police records, and the records went back for years of just negative occurrences in this house. Anything from attempted suicides, domestic violence, just on and on. Anything you can think of, really, of stuff that went in this house from previous owners. There's a couple cases of a mental illness and insanity that came from there, and it just went on and on. It seemed like everybody who moved in had a new had a new issue. Something negative happened, and actually, when our people came in, when our clients came in, they were even told by the neighbors that. Are you guys crazy too? Everybody who moves in this house is crazy.
We are getting a phone call right now.
We're getting a phone. Who's it from?
I don't know. Should we answer it?
No.
It could be Lori.
Yeah, let's see
What's
if
the
it's
number?
Lori.
Hello?
Hello? Hi.
Hi.
Who's this?
Sure, Echo.
Hi. Hi. So it was nobody?
Maybe it was the aliens. Might have been
Maybe it was the shadow person.
Sometimes
I think Jane Grant, they're pissed.
They know where we are.
What
was the?
pissed.
Well, I guess
it said no data.
Oh, I never picked those up. Those are called bill collectors.
Excuse
I have financial problems. No, but when our clients moved in, people, the people from the neighborhood were like, "Oh, great! Here comes another group of people that are coming in." And they talked to them. They said, "Are you guys crazy too?" They actually called, the neighborhood actually had a name for the home. It was called the Crazy House, I believe, is what they said it was, because it seemed like everybody who moved in, 911 calls, ambulances coming, just as a regular occurrence, and in a peaceful neighborhood, which this was. That's strange. It was on a golf course. It's pretty quiet. but this seems to be the one house in the whole neighborhood that has to have, the police at it every other weekend. And, like we said, looking into the place, for years this went back. Insanity, attempted suicides, domestic violence. So it just seems like, another theory of what this shadow figure could have been, if it was indeed something paranormal, was that, it could have been like a thought form of some kind. There's the theory that negative energy accumulated over time could actually have caused that. Now, again, I don't know.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, you would think that if enough bad stuff happened in a place, maybe possibly it could somehow manifest in a certain way. You hear about that sort of thing a lot in books, that negative emotions can cause this. I mean, look at Poltergeist. Supposedly that's like the emotions of a teenager, usually coming into puberty.
Yeah.
So
that's actually a theory I happen to believe.
So you never know. It could be all these negative emotions coming together, forming some kind of being. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a crazy experience. Now, by the time we showed up, I mean, it took a few weeks. She wrote in and told us the story of what was going on, and but she said she wanted to hold off, because it seemed to be, the activity seemed to be lessening instead of getting worse. So she was actually hoping it was going away. So it took a few weeks from the time we were first contacted before we actually did an investigation. She eventually called us in and just said, "Well, look, I mean, even if you don't investigate, we have questions. Maybe you could help us answer questions."
Well, originally, all the occurrences were happening around her, and she didn't want to tell anybody until her father-in-law stayed the night. And her father-in-law stayed the night and started asking what were all those footsteps, and that it was very rude for him to come down on a long trip, and he's trying to get sleep, and people are upstairs running around.
Yeah, I mean, this thing wasn't quiet. This thing, every night, when in the middle of the night while people are trying to sleep, through the kitchen and the living room areas, you would hear footsteps walking up and down. You'd hear doors slamming, whispers that, you get up and try to see where it's coming from. Does, is somebody in my house? You go upstairs and you're trying to find this, you're going downstairs, you're going upstairs, you're trying to find the source of this whispering, this talking, this door slamming, and nothing seems to have been disturbed. You can't find any evidence of anybody. Everybody's sound asleep. So, what the heck was it?
And her husband is what I like to call a doubting Thomas. He's a very, very skeptical man. And he didn't want to believe any of this stuff going on until he basically saw it for himself. And even after he saw it, he said, "I want a rational explanation of what it was."
And yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons why what drew us to the case so much is that, the client who called us in, the woman, she believed it was something paranormal, while he was more of a skeptic and just said, look, yeah, it's weird, but is it, I don't believe in ghosts, so I'm not going to say it's a ghost, but from what I understand, after having, after you see a free-roaming shadow figure that's, a big black mass that's not supposed to be there, and you talk to it, and then it goes right through you, apparently now he's a believer.
Yeah.
And look, I understand that. I mean, I'm skeptical as well. When we go into places, we have to be skeptical. We hear a lot of grandiose claims, and you can't just believe everything you hear. You have to at least go in and try to find evidence. But I guess when you're come face to face with it, it goes right through you.
Yeah. And one major disappointment about the whole case was that, unfortunately, this thing was causing a lot of tension between the family, where they eventually they split up for a little while until the husband couldn't take it anymore, and they actually ended up selling the house.
Yeah, they've since moved out of there,
and now everything's great.
I can't really say I blame them. Yeah, they moved out because they actually believe that this, entity or whatever you want to call it, this negative vibe they were getting was actually affecting their relationship, affecting their family life. They had basically zero problems in their personal life, aside from the basic stuff everybody has. But it gets to the point where they're arguing nonstop. People can't sleep. She was even referring to illnesses that she had that she just couldn't seem to bounce back from, and she's a young woman still in the prime of her life, and just to have these illnesses that she can't seem to bounce back from, she just thought it was weird. She's having toothaches that she can't seem to get rid of, and just things like that. And she eventually they've moved out. They've since moved out, and apparently now everything's good now. There's no more slamming of the doors.
Well, another good thing is what was it, like 2 days before the husband was going to move out, we actually contacted him and asked if we could come back in. And he said, I'm not spending another night in this house, so...
Yeah, I mean, I called him and I said, this is Jason Corbis, and with Phase 3, you remember when we investigated your home, I understand you're about ready to move out. And I said, I hear that you...
Well, his wife actually suggested that we go back to see if we could go back, but...
She wanted us to go back and just see if we can, because it had really kicked up there towards the end again.
And he said that when he went and talked to the landlord, the first thing that the daughter of the landlord said, I told you it was haunted.
I told you it was haunted. I've been telling you for years. You never believed me. And all this. So, I mean, what can I say? I mean, it just seems like from all these different people who don't know each other personally, that don't exchange stories, over coffee in the morning, they all have similar stories.
Well, yeah, they even said to us that we were one of the first people that they've ever told any of this stuff to, because,
right, yeah.
I mean, their positions in the community are pretty respectable, and unfortunately, a lot of people think that you're nuts if you mention you have a ghost in your house.
Yeah, you even the insinuation that you think you might have a haunting or something that is enough to have some people, you're weird, and then never talk to you ever again, or at least not take you seriously anymore. And that's why a big part of paranormal investigation is actually it's not just it's not just investigation, it's not just research and all that, but you also we're there for the people that are dealing with the occurrence. You're there to help them. I mean, more than anything.
So, did we fail?
I think they were helped in that they, like I said, we went there. The activity was pretty. There was no more activity anymore when we went there. We weren't able to catch anything during our investigations. But one thing that they did say that we did was we helped them at least regain their peace of mind, at least try to get some understanding of what it was, and. They said they learned a lot about the paranormal, because I remember sitting in their living room and just...
Oh, man, for about 2.5 hours.
We were fielding questions. Last year was a seminar, basically, just fielding questions on the paranormal and trying to explain everything. Is a lot of theories and just based on, numerous case studies. But one thing we did was educate. So
yeah.
You were saying?
One thing I remember about the case was that when we were finished, the husband said, "How much do you charge?" Remember that?
Yeah, we said, "Oh, there's no charge for this."
And then we looked at each other and said, "Would you have paid for it?"
He said, "Yeah."
We do not believe in charging anything in this field.
And honestly, I think anybody who is serious about the field of paranormal investigation, anybody who really takes it seriously and is really in it to help people, would not charge, because let's face facts here: you can't prove the existence of ghosts. I could have captured this thing on video. I could have captured a full body apparition on video, and there would still be people out there who would say, "Well, that was just swamp gas."
Exactly.
That was ball lightning. I mean, I hope honestly in my lifetime there is scientific proof, but right now there isn't.
Or at least a big breakthrough.
Yeah. And right now we can't prove it, so it just seems unethical to me to charge somebody there's groups out there that charge people $35 an hour.
Oh man.
I don't know what they do. I guess they do investigation and then they bilk some people out of their savings. I don't know, but
now we won't charge people. That's correct. We do not charge people. If you want to provide snacks, however,
we are big fans of Little Debbie's.
We will always take snacks, because you can't fight the battle between good and evil and ghosts without snacks.
I'm 300 pounds.
You're right.
I love field of paranormal investigation. I love to ghost hunt. I also
and
like
love
to
food.
eat. I love Little Debbie's. I love chips. I love sody pop.
And it's so great when we're in the middle of an EVP session and we hear your stomach performing an orchestra.
So yeah, there's that. But yeah.
And with that, we have to cancel the whole EVP session
because my stomach is doing the greatest hits. And it's always it's other people too, but it's usually me. Where I'm just like sitting there and we're doing. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to us? I'm like, that was me. That was my stomach. But,
is there anybody here? You're not supposed to be here.
Troy Taylor is a guy we all respect. Most paranormal researchers
name drop.
I don't know Troy Taylor personally. This is not a name drop. This is I'm illustrating a point. So you quit it over there.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about Troy Taylor's stomach grumble?
Yes.
Where he tried to pass it off as an EVP.
What was it, like a seminar or something they were doing?
I don't remember. It's in his book.
Ghost Hunter's Guidebook.
I have it somewhere around here.
It's right here. It's up here somewhere.
That's growing up haunted.
It's on there because I seen it a couple days ago.
I think I put it over there. Anyway, it's the Ghost Hunter's Guidebook.
Yeah.
Which is a fabulous book. Everybody should
Bible,
go buy it.
It's the Bible of paranormal investigation. If you're interested at all in the field of paranormal investigation, you want to know what it's really about, and you don't believe us,
Buy it.
buy Troy Taylor's book.
And you can get that at prairieghost.com.
Prairie Ghosts.
Name drop. Book plug. That's book plug. Just making sure.
Not the other kind of plug.
Not
that it
the
could have
other
been.
kind of plug. Book plug.
But yeah, he tells a story in there about, I think he was at a seminar and he was just showing a group of people how EVP worked. It's basically when he first started getting interested in doing electronic voice phenomenon, which is, for anybody who doesn't know, it's where you make a recording of trying to, we're still laughing about the, but you try to make a recording of, spirit voice or whatever, because the theory is that it's not, when you play it, when you play it back, you'll hear a voice that wasn't there when you were doing the recording. Well, during Troy's EVP session, he plays it back for the audience, and he hears something say like "Hey you" or something along those lines. Something that wasn't, something small. It was just a few words of a phrase. I don't remember exactly what the phrase was, but it was something like "Hey you" or "Help me" or something like that.
Right.
And everyone is just like, "Oh my god!" So
then he gets pulled aside.
Then he gets pulled aside by a guy who was there during the session that was right up near the microphone to the recorder, and he says, "Troy, I didn't want to say anything while we were out there, but I had chili for lunch earlier, and that was actually just my stomach growling." Now nobody at the time could hear it.
He had to go out, and I believe he corrected his mistake.
Troy's a stand-up guy. He did go out. In front of everybody, it's probably the most embarrassing thing he had to do in his career. Go out, and after everybody thinks he just caught a live EVP, you have to go out and then tell everybody that it was
your stomach
the chili. is Mama's chili.
And the whole thing about that, the moral of that story is just be sure of what you capture. Not every little sound is paranormal.
Right. So there's any way we can illustrate it. That's probably
again,
the best way right there.
buy his book. That's
book plug.
It's called The Ghost Hunter's Guidebook. You can get it at prairieghost.com.
I could feel like a regular part of our show is going to be, name drop, a book plug.
Hey.
I think it's working.
It's all right because
it makes me laugh anyway.
I think these people are great, and I really enjoy their work.
Right, and we're gonna over the course of the show, we're gonna talk about people who we don't like, honestly, but we're also gonna give mad props, as they say, to the people who we. I seen the mic go up to your face. What were you gonna say?
Mad props.
Speaking of props, though, as much as I disagree with some things on Ghost Hunters, I give those guys an enormous amount of credit just for opening the eyes of the paranormal world to a lot of people now.
Yeah.
And I thank them for that. Unfortunately, I hope it doesn't go down the toilet when they're proven fake.
I hope.
I hope they're not proven. I hope I'm proven fake, and I hope that they're able to maybe break grounds. And
oh God, yeah. More than anything, what we want in this field is for the breakthrough to come, and that's part of course why we're all in it. Is we all want to be part of this growing field. Get as much information as we can. Of course, we also want to help people, but if we can capture evidence, if we can somehow show people that this stuff is real, along the way,
right.
that's great.
And sell T-shirts?
And
no, I'm just joking.
I don't have a T-shirt.
No group T-shirts.
Not
yet.
Man,
I got some white shirts and a magic marker. Let's make some group shirts. We can sell them on them. Put them on the website.
Cafe Press. I don't know.
Cafe Press.
Website drop. It doesn't work when you.
I know it doesn't work when I do it. But a lot of people will. Another argument that they get with us with TAPS is we're destroying paranormal unity.
Yeah. We're destroying. Yeah, that's another one of the big things is that we're destroying. You shouldn't talk. You shouldn't criticize other groups because there's something in the paranormal field that people like to say called paranormal unity, which basically means everyone should stick together. Cops do the same thing. It's called the big blue wall of silence, where if a cop is seen doing something wrong, don't say anything because it's a cop. You're not supposed to say anything. Well,
exactly. Don't snitch on your neighbors. That type of stuff.
Yeah, don't snitch. Well, in the paranormal field. it's not like it. I mean, it's similar to detective work and police work in that you're trying to find the truth, but at the same time, because you're trying to find the truth, and if there's another group that's being deceptive, you have to weed those people out, and you have to weed them out. So you shouldn't be afraid to call those people out. And we've had people that have written into the site. Again, that we have there's a lot of people passionate about ghost hunters out there, and they don't like it when you criticize them. We get emails that say, you shouldn't criticize them because how would you feel if somebody criticized you? You're supposed to stick together. It's supposed to be about paranormal unity. And
exactly. And let me explain that we really, really, really believe in paranormal unity.
I believe in sticking together, but the argument I keep making is that paranormal unity shouldn't take a front seat over paranormal honesty. And I think that's important. Look, if you're not going to be honest, I don't want you to be a part of this field.
Exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't want people in my own group if people in my own group were faking evidence or if we're being deceptive in any way.
There wouldn't even be, you couldn't even say, I wouldn't even want to hear a reason why.
Yeah, just get out.
Yeah,
leave. You're not supposed to be here. We would get rid of them. But and I think that's the same way, in the field in general. If you see a group or a team that's playing fast and loose with evidence, that's being less than truthful, that's faking things, they have to be called out. They have to be at least some light shined on them to show, look, we care about this field. We care about it way too much to have somebody trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. So we're calling you out.
Now, at the same time, paranormal unity is, as you know, Jason, you and I have actually talked about this quite a bit. Doesn't mean you have to get along with everybody.
Right.
Who is in paranormal, research. Just like any other kind of group, not everyone gets along with everyone. I
don't get along with my own family.
Right. I mean, I have a hard time getting along with some people in the paranormal community, people we know, people I've written to. That's my personality. I'm a nice guy, but sometimes I can be extremely confrontational, and I know it. No, I know it. But it doesn't mean we all have to get along and agree with everything each other says. I do think, though, there has to be a code of ethics, though, that should be across the board.
But at the same time, you're not out bad-mouthing these groups.
No.
No, but I mean, if someone asks me, what do you think of, so-and-so, I'll be like, dude's a douchebag.
Yeah, you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer.
Right, exactly.
Right. But we're not going out of our way to purposely bash other groups.
Yeah,
except for Steve Smith at 3342 Project Road. You are a douchebag.
Sorry, Steve. Steve's fake. We just made him up. But no, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. You don't have to get along with every group member. You don't have to get along with other teams necessarily. Everybody has people in their lives they don't get along with. Like I said, I mean, I love my family with all my heart, but there's, days where we don't get along, and that happens in every family. But I think at the end of the day, with families, it's, at the end of the day, you still love each other, and in the paranormal field, it's you still respect each other, and you at least have a common goal.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's in it for the same reason. So.
All right, so we're gonna go to our second break and come back and talk with Robin McKinney from myghostnetwork.com.
Tonight, I can see Mars, it's relieving to see the stars in the country, in the backyard. I sit in this chair and I look at the stars. And it's too early to sleep, there's a nice breeze. I wish someone was sitting with me. 4 cigarettes left and I have no car. Go get some more, so I just look at the stars. And on my front porch I see city lights and hear the cars. But in the special place I see nothing except the stars. And out there's always somewhere new to explore. There's something about the way that the land seems placed. I could never ask for more.
And welcome back to Strange Frequencies Radio. We have our first guest on our first show, Robin McKinney. How you doing, Robin?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Not too bad. Now, you are the creator, if I'm correct, of My Ghost Network.
Yes, that is correct.
Can you tell me, or I should say us, a little bit about My Ghost Network, please?
Sure. It's like, it's basically like MySpace or Facebook.
Yeah.
It's just a social networking site, but it's geared directly towards people that are interested in the paranormal.
Sweet.
Sounds
good.
good.
There's not a whole lot of extra fun stuff that it does other than having, a music section. We have an EVP section, and our gallery tends to be a lot of pictures of, empty spaces instead of, pictures of people's faces, all up close and all MySpacey. So, it's just all geared towards people that are interested in the paranormal.
Well, that's cool. Why did you? And I know you used to be active on another message board that we all used to. I mean, I still belong to. I still post on it and everything, but you used to be more active on there. Why did you decide to leave? Why did you decide to create My Ghost Network?
Well, I decided to create My Ghost Network because, honestly, I have my. This is going to sound horrible, but I have like my real friends, and then I have.
I hear you.
Horrible. And then I have my friends that are like my paranormal friends.
Right.
That sounds very ridiculous, but you know what I mean. And
what do you mean? What are you saying, Robin?
I have no clue. And I just figured that I was tired of putting all these people on MySpace that were like not people I really talk to in real life normally.
That's what I do.
And so I created MySpace or my Ghost Network, and that's how it all worked for me. That's the only reason, I swear. There was just somewhere I wanted somewhere to go. I was tired of the other website that we were talking about.
They actually banned everybody that put up your www.myghostnetwork.com.
Yeah, because you have banners on myghostnetwork.com that people can put up, on their own sites. On the, if you have a login on the other board that we were talking about, you can put it up there. It just, you have a few different ones, like one that says, I made friends at myghostnetwork.com. It's just like a little banner just to advertise your site. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but apparently, if you put it on that site.
It was kind of a war for a little while there.
Why? I don't understand. Why was there a war?
The war happened because of a specific member.
Oh, is this...
Okay.
Is this...
So we had a member that did a crossover because they got banned from the other website.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then they came to my website and were saying a lot of, not such nice things about the other website.
I know that guy.
Right, and so in turn, what ended up happening was the one member, the one moderator over there decided that he was no longer going to have anyone be allowed to promote My Ghost Network because of the negative things that were being said about the other site.
Guilt by association, huh?
Right, right. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stop people from saying what they feel, so, sorry, buddy, but okay, ban me, ban...
Yeah, right. So did you actually
get whatever?
Did you actually get banned by that other site then?
I actually did not end up getting banned. I actually asked them to remove me.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so you're not even a member anymore?
No, I actually still am. They never did remove me, and I actually logged in just a little while ago, and I was like, oh wow, I still.
You
have
gotta check back from time to time.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, you don't have to post though. I know how frustrating that board can be sometimes.
Oh gosh, it's ridiculous, and I'm not saying it doesn't get frustrating at My Ghost Network sometimes too, because there's so many people with so many different opinions about the paranormal. There's just no way I'm going to agree with everybody, and it's just how people take it that's different. Like My Ghost Network people are a little bit less aggressive, I guess.
Yeah, and I think
as on the other site.
That's true. I think I even remember when you first started it, you even said, "Look, you don't mind if there's alternate, different opinions. People are going to disagree as long as you didn't, I guess, get." Nasty or mean spirited to anybody, you really didn't have a problem with it. So
exactly, I just didn't want people like bashing people when it had absolutely nothing to do with the subject at hand. Right. And we had that happen. Like somebody was like, "Oh, well, now I know why your wife or your husband divorced you."
What?
It was like, yeah, like because they disagreed on orbs or something. It just.
That's what happens in the
didn't make
paranormal
sense.
field, though. You know,
Wow, let's not overreact.
that's how it is. It's not even just the paranormal field. If you don't even like someone's favorite movie, you're like, why don't you like it? You know, they get all mad or whatever. And yeah, it's definitely it's way heightened in the paranormal field. If you don't agree with someone's opinion, that's why your wife divorced you.
The drama is like, I have
your baby
never,
dies.
Seriously, that's what it's like. There has been so much drama in this field that since I've entered into it, that I'm like at the point where I'm just like, I don't even want to deal with it anymore. It's crazy. People are nuts. I mean, in a good way, but people are nuts.
No, I mean, we agree with you. We were actually speaking before we gave you a call about the paranormal field's unity in the community of paranormal investigation, and how, you know, not everyone is going to get along, but how we think there needs to be an underlying code of ethics. You know, don't fake evidence. You know, treat everyone with just a little bit of respect.
Right, I agree with that 100%. I mean, it's getting so territorial that it's like gang wars almost.
There's like cliques that have formed up.
Yeah.
Well, it's like music here. Like nobody wants to promote other bands because they want to be the best band.
Yeah, they want to be the number one band in the area. And that was Bobby.
Was that you, Bobby?
Yeah.
Because I, honest to God, had the same exact conversation with somebody about bands. One of the things that I did, because I know that you used to play music before, and so did I, and one of the things that I always said was that exact thing. Like, we're so busy fighting with each other over, you know, what band sucks and what band's good and what band deserves to be playing what venue, that we're losing the fact that we could just be supporting each other, and then all of us would be able to play wherever we wanted to, because nobody cares if you're good or you're not. They care if you're going to bring money in, if you're going to bring people to their venue. And it's kind of the same with paranormal investigating. It's like, you know, we do care if you're good or not, obviously, because you want to be, you know, quality and you want to be helping people, but everyone's losing sight of the main focus, which is we're supposed to be doing this because we want to help.
Exactly.
Not fight with each other and talk about how, you know, this one's a jerk and this one doesn't know what they're doing. I mean,
especially in a field that's all based on theory.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, how are you going to tell me that I'm completely wrong on a theory that I had when nothing is set in stone?
Right. Speaking of theories, how'd that theremin theory ever work out for you?
I actually built my theremin, and I put it inside of a Mr. Potato Head doll.
Cute.
And I wasn't allowed to bring Mr. Potato Head along because it didn't look professional enough. So I got a box, just a plain old box, and I put it in there. And I did a little bit of experimenting in my own home with it, but I don't live in a haunted home. So really what I did was I played with it for a while, and I had a good time. And then I decided that I wanted to start a band where there was a theremin in it. And that's about as far as the theory has gone so far.
For those that don't know what that theory was, could you tell us?
Sure. Well, I'm going to do the short of it. A theremin is an instrument, for those of you who might not know what the heck it is, that actually produces a low-frequency electromagnetic field. And when that field is manipulated by, like, someone's hands, it changes the tone that comes out of the instrument. So when you put the theremin onto, like, an amplifier, you can hear this crazy, it's a very spooky sound, actually. It's frequently used in, like, horror films and
the old sci-fi movies.
Old sci-fi movies, and, like, of course, the Beach Boys use it, you know, because that goes hand in hand. I don't know where that came from. But, so my theory was that if in fact an entity can, when it manifests, it changes the electromagnetic field, if that theory is true, then it should in fact be able to manipulate the tone that comes out of the theremin. So I was going to try to use it, in a sense, as like a trigger, a paranormal trigger. So I haven't gotten there yet, guys. I'll let you know what happens when I finally do.
Awesome.
That's sweet, then. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just, since we're talking about, you know, groups and, you know, theories and all that, let's just back up from My Ghost Network and all that and just talk about how you got in the paranormal field to begin with.
Oh, sure. I'd have to say about like 10 years ago, I had an experience that I could not explain at all. It was frightening, to say the least. It involved the Tickle Me dolls, like Tickle Me Elmo and Tickle Me Big Bird, going off.
We've investigated places before that had problems with Tickle Me Elmo. Go ahead.
It's a little, yeah, but it wasn't saying mean things. Some people have said that their Tickle Me Elmo has been saying mean things, but mine wasn't. But the short of it was that I really could not explain what happened to me at that point in time, and I just kind of became obsessed with the idea of figuring out what could have happened and why I had this crazy experience. And in a sense, it was a little bit of a spiritual thing for me, too, because I grew up Roman Catholic, and I had a lot that I didn't specifically believe about the religion as I got older and was, able to have a mind of my own.
Right.
And I just kind of wanted to search and figure out what there was beyond the world that we're living in now. And so since about 10 years ago, I've been doing whatever I could, to figure it out. So that's how I got involved.
Great. What, do you work with a group right now then, or?
I was working with a group. I just recently left. It's the holidays. I need to take a little break. And I was asked to play music again, and I had to choose between the two,
Yeah.
Because I am a mom and a wife,
right.
I can't be leaving constantly out of my home. So for a little bit, I'm going to take a little time off, and then I will be launching my own group. This time, I have a bunch of colleagues that are, interested in starting things up, and everybody kind of agrees, let's wait till after the holidays.
Yeah.
So even though I have an investigation tomorrow by myself, but, I got to help people when they still need help, so.
Yeah, and it seems like stuff kind of slows down around, the winter.
Yeah, the winter time.
And especially around the holidays. People don't normally have you come out on Christmas to investigate their...
That's very true.
The guy that walks around with chains.
Although I would.
I would. But you just don't get those
My wife wouldn't like it very much.
I know. That really becomes what the issue is. It's not like we would do it, I'm sure, but, we have people to answer to, too, so
yeah.
you can't.
I guess talk a little bit more about that. I mean, that's a situation I guess everybody finds themselves in, is not just being a paranormal investigator, but also having to balance a personal life, with a family. What is that like? Because I'm not married. I don't have a steady girlfriend. And I would just, what is that like? And I'll, how do you find yourself balancing that? Maybe I'll pick up some pointers from you. Go.
Well, it's been I'm lucky because I have an extremely supportive husband who's super into this too. And if it was his choice, he would be going on all of these investigations with me. But he knew that this was a passion of mine previous to even getting involved with him. So once we had the baby, or once I had the baby, because he didn't do crap.
Guys are so useless when it comes to delivering children.
I know.
I was scared.
Most of them are, Bobby, believe me.
It was the most paranormal thing I've ever experienced in my life.
It's true. Oh, man, I don't even want to get into that, because
rough times.
Gross, quite frankly. But yeah, so he's been really supportive. My husband, he watches my son, who's just about 2, and he watches him when I'm off, all night long, and sometimes for entire weekends. Because the last group that I was with, they were about 2 hours away from where I live, so I would have to go, drive 2 hours to get to them, and then sometimes drive 2, 3, 4 hours additional after that to get to the actual location. So.
Wow.
He's been really great about it, and that's the only way that you can balance it is to just have somebody actually supporting you. That's it.
I hope to one day have a very supportive wife, hopefully rich, that can bankroll my any lovely ladies out there that have money. I don't know if you've ever heard of.
I'll put up a little single thing for you on my Ghost Network, okay?
Have you ever heard of the ghost hunter Harry Price?
Yes.
Okay, well, he that's how he actually... he was always interested in the field of paranormal investigation, but he ended up marrying a wealthy woman that basically just not only supported him, emotionally and everything, but financially. I
did not even know that.
Yeah, he was able to... I guess his most famous case was the Worley Rectory in England, and he rented that place out for a full year to do a year-long investigation where he brought in, scientists, other researchers that were interested in the paranormal to do a year-long investigation of the Borley Rectory, and I don't think any of it would have been possible without his filthy rich wife.
Well, we're going to have to find one for you so you can
just keep your ears to the
like
ground.
that.
Find one for me, too.
All right. Hey, no.
Throwing your wife under the bus.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Now, I'm going to get back to my Ghost Network. How hard is it to manage a website like that?
It's actually not too bad. The initial difficulty was setting the whole entire thing up. The hard part now is keeping the drama away. And I keep going back to the drama thing because it just...
Well, that is that is a focal point, it seems like, in this field. So.
It really is. But, there are times when I have to go in there and I have to, weed through. We have a little shout box on the front where people can just talk and say whatever. And sometimes people say really inappropriate things, and I got to go in there and delete them. And
the police,
it's a pain in the butt.
Grown men and women, you have to be policed.
Exactly. And it's my younger people that are on the site are actually the ones that are the most mature.
Isn't that funny how that works?
I don't understand.
The older we get, the more childish we become.
We just miss that feeling. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's not difficult. It's really not. I mean, it costs money, and it costs me money to run it every single month, and it's something that I'm willing to do at this point because I want it to be a place that people can go and meet people and, possibly form groups. And we have a lot of visions for where the site's going to go to within the next year or so. So, I just got to keep it up and hope that we get, more people. We've had a lot of people join recently, and we just want to grow as big as we can so I can keep, providing this for everybody,
I may be wrong, but you guys are going to be sponsoring some events, right?
We actually we did sponsor 2 different events. They just finished up. Last weekend was the last of the 2 events. So we sponsored this really great event. There's a paranormal group out here called Spirit of PA, and they did a really great event at Fort Mifflin, which is just an incredible place that we sponsored, My Ghost Network sponsored, and it was for Mommy's Light, which is this really great organization that helps kids who have lost their mothers, remember them and keep traditions up for them.
Okay.
So that was awesome. It was all the proceeds of that investigation went to that organization, and it was wicked fun. And then we did one with EPPI, which is Eastern Pennsylvania Paranormal Investigations. We sponsored their event at this place called the Lake House, and that place was phenomenal as well. So there were 4 nights of public paranormal investigating. So our patrons really had a great time doing that. It was a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that's important. I mean, not just to do paranormal investigation, but also to get involved in charity like that and be able to give back to the community is. That's something we desperately want to get involved with really soon. Is actually around the holidays. We have so many free resources available to us when we do investigations. I mean, we end up hitting the local library system and using all these taxpayer funded organizations, and we want to at least be able to give back a little bit in some whatever small way by involving ourselves in charity or
even if it's just going to a soup kitchen.
Right. Yeah. Just. Going to the local soup kitchen and just serving people and just trying to give back in some way at least. So I guess it's the least
not
we can
a lot
do.
of people do, and it's sad because we're in a position where we can do things and we can help people if at all possible. There's a lot of people that are really interested in this field, but really don't want to get into it 100%. So if we're able to do a public paranormal investigation and take all those proceeds and give them back somehow. It's a great way for not only us to, make people more aware of what really goes on, not just what's on the TV, and, and be able to give back at the same time. It's great, and I think more groups really need to focus on that kind of stuff as well.
I'm going to ask you your personal opinion on how do you feel about paranormal investigating groups charging people?
Am I allowed to curse?
Try to.
No.
I mean, you can.
I'm not going to curse, but I will tell you that I think it's a big giant crock. I personally don't believe that you should be charging people that are obviously in need. You know, they want you to come into their home to help them understand what's going on in their house. This is, to me, a charitable thing. You do this because you want to help people. I don't believe that you should be charging people for help like this. I don't also think that there's anything wrong with maybe doing fundraisers for your own group if you need to get money and, you know, to better your group for, you know, equipment purposes and things like that.
Equipment is expensive.
Right. I mean, God, I could probably buy a house on the amount of equipment I've bought over the years.
Oh, man.
Tell me about it.
Not really, but it's bad, you know.
I had no idea how expensive it was to start a radio show.
Oh yeah, you should have called me because I used to have a podcast and I have a whole bunch of stuff that I could have given you guys.
Wait, you used to? Don't you have one now?
No, actually, I do not. That was just a promotional tool that we were using for some of the upcoming events, but we're not continuing that. So no more podcasts here. I did with my husband a long time ago have a podcast too, so I have all this. I have a really nice Behringer mixer if you guys need it. A ton of stuff that you probably already bought.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robin.
I know.
No, but if equipment gets expensive, and I can see why people would have fundraisers, and I would never, I guess, ask for a donation. You know, never, of course, ask for a donation at an investigation. But if someone just offered it, I guess I couldn't turn it down. But
right, a donation is a donation, but actually going in there and saying, "Hey, you need to give me $100 because I'm coming to investigate your house," I don't know. I just don't. I don't
so you are against that group in New York that charges $35 an hour to investigate?
Absolutely.
Whoever they are.
Yeah,
Whoever they may be.
I don't know their name. I just remember reading something about it.
Yeah, I don't think that's cool at all.
Thank you. So you're one more on my side, Jason. Jason wants to start charging people. I'm just kidding.
He's throwing me to the. He's lying.
I'm just kidding.
But we were just talking about that earlier on the show about groups that charge people for investigations, and
it's
we were saying that it's tough to charge somebody for something you can't prove. I mean, if you have a plumber come out, at least they could say, well, your drain was clogged up because of all this hair or whatever. They could show you what happened, but there's no way to prove a ghost yet. So,
and I think that's great. That's an awesome point that you're making. I mean,
I tend to make awesome points.
You obviously do. Anybody can come off the street and be like, yeah, I'm investigating your house for the paranormal, and they could come in with a flashlight and be like, yep, you're clean. You know, I mean, and then ask them for money.
Yeah, it'll be $35 or whatever.
Per hour.
Per hour, yeah, $35 per hour. And that's, I think, in the article in question, that group was like, it was like old people or something like that. I mean, people who are on a fixed income, who are probably retired, and they're having experiences they can't explain. They're frightened, and they're having people come in and take away their Social Security check because, somebody's going to tell them they have a ghost or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But.
And these are the same people, of course, that reply to those emails from Nigeria saying your grandpa left you $3 million, but you have to send us, $50,000 to get it. So.
Oh, you mean that's not real?
No, apparently not.
Crap.
If I wouldn't have given the money to that Nigerian warlord, I wouldn't have been divorced 3 times now.
Oh, stop it.
That's true.
I'm just
kidding.
So what is your website, guys?
Phase3paranormal.com.
Okay, see, I needed to just help you guys plug your own website there.
I need to get back on myghostnetwork.com because I joined it around the time you first started it, and then I posted for a little while, and then I would take breaks and then come back because I would just get sick of forums, I guess. But then I always end up coming back to the paranormal, the paranormal ones, and I need to get back on myghostnetwork.com and start participating again.
Actually, let me tell you a story, Jason.
Tell me a story.
I actually joined My Ghost Network this last week here.
Oh, do tell.
On Friday, I created my account, and I have to say, in the 3 days that I have since I've done that, I've had 4 or 5 people just drop me a line and say hi, and thanks for joining. Good luck on the site.
Oh yeah,
a
bunch of friendly people.
You don't get that with any other message board or any other forums.
When I joined MySpace, I had people writing me telling me I should go die. So I was happy this time.
I get yelled at every now and then.
So I know which one you are. You know.
Okay, no problem. I can definitely do that.
I get really mean emails from Robin if I don't check my email
Really?
there once a week.
See, she expects it from you.
That's
She doesn't
true,
expect it from me.
These are all true things. That's the sad part. I do yell sometimes. Like, where are you? What
You're
have you
supposed
been
to
doing?
be
See,
here.
my sign-in name is Black Swamp Paranormal, and I'm not in Black Swamp Paranormal anymore.
All right, well, I'm going to go and buy the mod so that you can change your username. How about that?
That'd be awesome. And then you'll see me. Then you'll say, "When are you going to leave?"
But no, that's
okay.
That's something I
like
just that's something I just figured out actually a few days ago when I was back on my Ghost Network. I realized that my avatar or icon or whatever you want to call it was still the Black Swamp Paranormal logo. That's how
Yes,
long
it was.
I hadn't apparently had not changed that. We changed the name back in like August or July or somewhere around there.
Oh, it was July.
Yes, whatever. Don't get lippy with me. But yeah, we changed it in July, and so it's July, August, September. I mean, it's been several months since I hadn't even paid attention to even change it. So I gotta get on that.
Actually, the last time you and I talked, you told me you bought the Ovilus.
I did.
We have to talk about the Go.
Did you buy the Paranormal Puck, or did you buy the Ovilus?
I actually bought the Paranormal Puck.
Sweet.
It's.
I have not yet spoken to anybody who's ever used it, so you're gonna have to. I mean, not personally.
I have used it. You know what? I have to say that I actually enjoy it for a few of its functions that it has. It will log my electromagnetic field data.
That's cool.
And it will also log my temperature. So, but the crappy part is you have to have it connected to your laptop.
Oh, okay.
So basically, you have to have one person holding a laptop and the other one holding the puck.
Exactly. So instead of doing that, what we've chosen to do is put it in an area. Like, for instance, one of the places that we were investigating, there was a full-bodied apparition that was seen staring out this one window, and it was always seen in that spot anytime that the homeowner saw it. So I was like, all right, well, I just put my laptop there and kind of put the puck in the area, and I also turned my laptop because it will log because I have a webcam on mine too, so it'll log your video as well. And I kind of turned the laptop on, and from the light of the screen, you could see the corner okay, and just kind of left it there to log the data. And that's really the only thing. I can't see people walking around with a laptop in one hand and the puck in the other. It's not practical at all.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound very ergonomic, but
it's not. And the worst part, the whole vocal feature, it's impossible. It's just totally and completely impossible. You can't tell me that you can take EMF, ELF, and temperature and decide what number you're going to get from it, and then take that number and turn it into a word.
So the puck also has it can also speak?
Yes.
Oh,
it
okay.
has the exact
So it's like
same
a
function
friend.
as the obelisk.
Like if you get lonely, you can turn the puck
Does
off.
it do the cool voice? Demon.
It does. Demon. No, and then the worst part is that there's not even a huge list of words that it can work off of. So, and they make it very clear to state that it's for
Entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
But would you be impressed if it said, "Hello, Robin"?
That would probably freak me out. Yeah, I might be impressed, or if it was like, "That's a nice pink laptop you have," or something, I'd be freaked. But otherwise, I'm really not all that. I'm not all that impressed by it at all. I like the data logging features, but it's not practical.
Yeah.
So, all in all, it was a big old waste of money.
How much was it?
I don't even remember. It was like
$199.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
I want to buy one. I have
Don't
this.
buy everything.
I have this. It's a fetish, I guess you could call, of buying the most expensive paranormal gear you can possibly buy.
What
I
kind of cell phone do you have?
Me?
Bobby has a BlackBerry. That just goes to show.
I have a BlackBerry, and then I have another cellular phone that I carry for personal phone calls.
We're sitting in a little studio room right now where he has his computer. His screen is like an HD television.
It's a 37 widescreen HD TV.
What?
This
In my
Bobby's-
downstairs, I have like a 25-inch, big box TV, and my
in
wife
his-
gets pissed
yeah,
because
in his family room, his family gets to watch the 25-inch TV. For his computer, Bobby has the 37-inch HD.
that can switch to TV whenever just by the flick of a button.
That is not cool of you at all.
Bobby is he's big on appearances.
I am. Except I dress like crap. I wear the same pants for like 4 weeks in a row without washing them. But they'll never make fun of my paranormal gear.
That's right. They might make fun of your nasty, dirty smelling body.
I'm so lazy that I shave my head so I don't have to wash my hair all. No, I'm just kidding. But I do shave my head.
Oh God, you guys are bad. I'm the same way though, Bobby. Like I'm really into technology. I have, my iPhone. That's my phone, and we're total computer geeks. We have a ton of gear. So both me and my husband, and we're both Mac and Windows. So we have all this crap in the house, and it's so bad. But I like it. So of course it's expensive.
My next project is starting a library of nothing but paranormal books.
Oh man!
So I have about 600 books right now. That's an exaggeration. I have about 150, and about 145 I've never even read.
Oh my God!
I was looking through his library at one point, and I opened this one Troy Taylor book up. I think it was Troy Taylor. Maybe.
Yeah, it's Ghosts on Film.
Ghosts on Film by Troy Taylor, and I said, "Oh my God, Troy Taylor signed this." Bobby didn't even know. He's like, "What? It's been signed?" He bought like a signed version and had never seen. Again, he's all about appearances.
I didn't know.
He's bought plenty of books that he's never read before. He tells me to read
You got to
them.
start reading them, Bobby.
I did just buy Growing Up Haunted, and it's pretty good.
Oh, I'm really glad that you bought that. Alexandra Holder is probably one of the nicest people that I've actually been able to meet. I got to say that she rocks. So you got to let her know you bought it. She'll be happy.
But you rock as well.
Oh.
And that's why you're here.
Another thing is nobody actually realizes how much money it takes to start a paranormal group. They just because we do it for free, no money's actually involved. No, we just don't take money from you.
Right.
We take money from our families.
Exactly.
Yeah. I take food out of my family.
He's like, should I buy formula for my daughter or should I buy this tri-field meter? And I actually have to think for a second and then buy the tri-field meter.
But at least you give it thought before you do it. Like you're not just rushing out and being rash about it. You consider it.
Unfortunately, now I'm married and I have to ask my wife before I buy toys.
Yeah.
Most
That's the
of the
one
time.
downfall of marriage,
You have to ask.
But she doesn't have to
soon,
ask
though.
me.
Your daughter will be able to eat ramen pretty soon.
Exactly.
So you'll be totally fine. You're not even going to have to worry about that whole option at all.
Awesome. See, now I'm excited again.
Brightened his day.
Honey, why is there a $1,500 charge? Oh, I bought that new DVR set. The system.
I want to be here when that
This one
conversation takes place.
This one you can hook up 8 cameras instead of 4. And she don't care. She doesn't understand that sometimes we have to go to 8 different rooms and we can't be there at once.
Very true.
So I try and tell her, should I buy 8 different $400 cameras, which would be $2,400, or just buy the DVR system for $15? She doesn't care. She bought a fireplace today. Who buys fireplaces?
That's what's going to be cool about the show. We're going to talk about, your personal life.
I'm waiting for her to come in and hit me.
That's why I said I want to
Is she
be there.
listening?
She's downstairs.
She's downstairs. She's
hooking up the fake fireplace.
Oh, she's hooking that up?
See, the thing about me is I
That's
like
usually what the man
technology.
does.
I just don't know how to work it. It's bad.
You're terrible.
That's all bad. But
Your poor wife.
I do feel bad for her at some point.
Why?
Well, every time I come over here,
Why?
every time I come over to Bobby's, what I do is I just find a reason to agree with his wife over him,
Man.
no matter what happens. I'd say, "Yeah, Bobby, you're a bad father," and she'll say,
That's horrible.
"Well, we're friends. I'm allowed to say that."
he takes it to My Ghost Network and say, "Oh, that's why you're a bad father."
I put it on the shout box. Bobby knows
Yeah.
he's a bad father. Yeah, and then she just says, thank you.
I actually remember when you first started My Ghost Network, you didn't have a censor clause.
No, I did not. And that was not a good idea.
I remember testing that out the first day. One of the first days, I just wanted to see if it was real. I wanted to see if it was actually true. So I just went on there and I just threw out many obscenities and just said, "That's all." Wanted to see if it posted.
I believe you said, "Sweet, I can curse."
I think that's a direct quote from her. And then I never did it again. But I just wanted to see if it was actually true.
So now, if I curse, you're telling me that it will be taken off.
No, you can curse all you want. I have no problem with the cursing. The only thing that I have issues, and we have tried to maintain very low rules. Like I don't want people bashing people. I'm just not okay with that in any way, shape, or form. I don't want people to, bring other people's personal lives into this. This is supposed to be a place where people go to have fun. So I don't need that crap.
And if we can cuss, it's fun.
Oh yeah, you can curse up a storm all you want. Just don't direct it at someone necessarily. Like, don't call someone a bad thing. But
right.
You can curse in context. And then another thing that we don't like is we don't want people to just join up and spam our site. We've had people join up and be like, you should go to this site. And it's another, paranormal social networking site.
Kind of like what we did to the other website.
Maybe that's why they got angry. Huh?
Do you guys ever have just like spammers, like it's like a spam bot that just like posts random comments, or no?
No, because you can't get through it like
right.
that. Everything is, you have to have your username, so you can't even, they would have to go through the whole pain in the neck of actually creating a username to go in there and spam. So thankfully we haven't had that.
Our website just got like bombarded. I didn't get to see it actually, but our webmaster.
Yes, it did.
You got to see it.
I got to see it. Yeah, there was.
What was it saying?
There was a lot of people saying go to this site for Viagra, and I'm like, how do they know? And
I guess it was like it was posting like a comment per second or something,
right?
Per minute
yes.
or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I didn't get to see any of it, but our webmaster took care of it or whatever already. But
was that in your forums?
It was like on the front page of our site. There's like. We post news, like if we have any news that we want people to read about, it's right on the front page, and you can post a comment on there about like the news post. And so
is it like a shout box?
Kind of like that, yeah.
No, it's nothing like a shout box.
It's nothing like a shout box, apparently. I don't. Why don't you explain it?
you can just make a comment. It's not like
you just press a button.
I've never made the comment.
I've never made a comment,
but it doesn't.
That's why I didn't know.
It doesn't look like Robin's shout box.
That's right. That's
shout
true.
Box?
Man.
No, but apparently it's nothing like a shout box, but you hit comment and then you type something in and then you hit comment, or I don't know, something like that. I've never done it, but
how many people do you have work? What? Go ahead.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
I was going to ask you, how many people do you have working on your website?
Me and me.
Wow. So you do the whole thing alone?
Yeah, it's really me. I have 2 staff members that work on not actual, like I have 2 staff members that are kind of like, my one girl's like my PR person, and she'll work on anything that she thinks is, hey, you should go here because you can link here, and it's not like you're not spamming, it's a good thing, it's a good place to put your site, or she'll do stuff like that. Then we have another girl who has been with the site since its inception, and she just became a staff member, and I'm going to have her working on a special project that we're going to be doing for My Ghost Network. And one of our visions is to have My Ghost Network go around the country, not physically, but search around the country for groups, paranormal groups, that we think are, I guess, the real deal, people that we think are doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah. We got to get on that list.
Right, and kind of get there and have a whole entire section, one or 2 teams per state kind of thing, of people that we, really, really agree with their theories and methodologies and stuff. So that's going to be coming up within the next year. I'm hoping to get it done.
Now, like Taps and some other sites, are you going to charge people $30 per member to get on that list?
Absolutely not.
Excellent. No,
we really want to be like kind of the one-stop place for people that are in groups, for people that are just enthusiasts, and for people that are experiencing paranormal activity. We want people to be able to come to the site and talk to other people, and then also have a really good network. And that's where I came up with the whole idea of My Ghost Network. It was kind of the vision from the beginning, a network of really good paranormal investigators that can go somewhere if they're needed, and kind of like the whole TAPS thing where you, like a family member, you know, you're a My Ghost Network approved. Not like it's a big deal to be approved by My Ghost Network, but we're really going to be strict about it. We are going to ask people for references. It's going to be a lot of work that we're going to be doing to find these groups, but we really want to get the right people the exposure that they deserve. So.
Oh, great.
I actually think references are a very important thing.
I do too, and not enough people even think about that. So I'm hoping that we can get a lot of really great groups. So you guys are going to have to send me some references so I can get you guys up on the
Man, I thought we were exempt from that part.
You tried to cash in on the friendship, like, we had you on our show, lady.
So
I know, now I have to do things.
You should have a podcast section just for me.
I should, because I actually do have a podcast section.
There we go.
Booyah.
And I was going to ask you guys if you wanted me to have your podcast on that section. I don't charge anybody for anything, so don't even ask that question. How much is it going to cost us? Cause
how much is it going to... Oh, okay, sorry.
Don't make me come through the phone and slap you. But for real, no, I'd love to have you guys on the podcast section. And, you know, we're also going to be pretty picky about that kind of stuff, too. So
then you may not want to put us. Yeah. But
you can just put the show you were on.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine as well.
That's it, just one. No, I'm going to I'll put a live stream for your RSS feed so that every time you update it, it'll get updated on the site, too.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I don't even know how that works.
I want to reach through the spike right now and hug you.
Oh, thanks.
You can just... I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
You can just come on My Ghost Network and send me a hug there.
It's a promise.
It can be hug. And then when you bother one of your mods to change my name, I'll be an active member again.
Why
what do you mean one of my mods? It's going to be me that does it. Are you kidding?
Oh, wow.
Can Bobby
It's
just make
me.
another account? I mean, if you want to do that right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
but see-
absolutely.
Then I want that account deleted.
See how I'm throwing him under the bus? See how I
And
call
I
him
could
out?
do that, too. Don't worry. But don't worry, because I'm actually going to buy, there's all these great mods that people already program that I don't even have to worry about the whole programming aspect. I just buy it and install it onto my site, and that's what I'm going to do. That's the next mod that's going to come up, is the one that allows you to change your username. So
now, do you have a big background then when it comes to computer programming or website programming, or?
I went to school for computer networking and data communications,
Okay.
and somehow ended up programming instead, and it's completely different. So I have no idea how that happened, but I just got it when I very first got out of school. I started working for a pharmaceutical market research company doing back-end programming, and they taught me everything. And then I really love design, and I'm pretty much an artsy fartsy kind of person, and I wanted to do websites, so I just kind of taught myself, and that's how it happened.
That's excellent. I went to school for English and history, and I'm unemployed. So
Awesome.
I've been at a community college for 6 years.
Yes, that's awesome. 2-year school for 6 years?
I'm still there. I'm banking 6 years, right? I could be a physician's assistant by now.
He's actually a tenured student there. So
Yeah.
And mind
You'll
you,
probably be a doctor.
I should be now.
But besides you putting together the database of in the States of the different organizations, different groups, is there anything else new coming up on My Ghost Network?
Well, we're going to be doing a lot of enhancements. We are going to be doing a whole new chat thing on there because a lot of people are frustrated with the way that the chat runs now. Like if people want to, or the instant messaging. So that whole section is going to change very, very soon as well. And then honestly, as I start seeing things that people are wanting more and more, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get people what they want. So, you know, it's all about people asking me to do things, and then I pretty much do it. So, I mean, within reason, of course. So don't get any weird ideas.
Okay, no.
I was sitting here thinking of a question I could ask you right now, but what? What? My ghost chicks or something like that, you know?
For me.
I will tell you this. There is a section of my site that I have disabled, and it's a crush section of the site, where people can say that they have a crush on you by pressing a little button.
Nobody would ever do that for me.
And it sends you like a little wink or a little smile or a little kiss or something. But I disabled it because I really didn't think that it was going to be, really good on a paranormal site. But maybe I need to change all that for Jason.
You're going to do it all for me.
Oh, that was great.
You guys have been talking here, I'm on myghostnetwork.com right now. I'm on your page. I'm fulfilling my promise while we're on Strange Frequencies Radio of offering you the virtual hug. I don't know how to do it. What do you do? Put hug and then put like a lot of parentheses around it? Is that what people do?
I don't really know what people
That's
do.
what I'm going to go ahead and do.
You do that. I'm actually on My Ghost Network right now, too. Looking at a picture of you sleeping with your cat on you.
That's what I do. I figured I was trying to I'm going to put up a picture of me that best represents my personality. Fat, lazy, cats sleep on me. And that's what I came up with.
I love that your likes are cheeseburger and pizza.
That's right. I just updated my page not that long ago. At one point, I was looking for a wife made of cheeseburgers and pizza, but if
yes,
but
I remember.
If I had one, I would eat her, and she would be gone.
I don't think I ever fill out those sections.
I do.
You didn't. I think yours is pretty
boring.
Wait, who am I talking to?
Bobby.
Okay, Bobby. Yeah, yours is boring. You didn't fill a single thing out at all.
Man, I'm sorry.
That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I am gonna go and make sure that my profile, my name on there is Black Frog, combining two. No, it's actually combining two of our old group names together. But I'll make sure to fill that out.
One time on your site, I wrote a blog about the ghost box, and you were the only one that commented on it. And you said that happened to me too. So
Wait, I did?
You must have had a bad experience with a ghost box?
Oh, stupid Frank's box, you mean?
Yeah.
Gay thing. I hate that. It was awful.
But there's a few like iconic people in this field that swear by it.
I don't even understand. It is so far from being accurate. You're scanning through stations that are going to have people saying things.
That was
right?
my theory as well. You don't even have to say anymore.
We know.
We tried for about 5 hours to have them say swear words because that way we would know it wasn't from the radio.
Right.
Shh, I think the ghost wants us to call in to win tickets to Van Halen. Come on.
Oh, it's so true. It's so horrible. I don't know why people do that, but they do, and more power to them. They believe that stuff, so that's part of where my drama stops. You know, it's like, all right, you believe that the ghost box works.
And that's why your husband divorced you.
Right.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Nice.
So do you ever ban people from your site?
I do, and I have, yes.
You have and you will.
I only ban people who were bashing other people.
Or who make accounts and don't sign in.
Yeah, well, that was the thing where I don't feel like dealing with... Like, I have only so much space on my server, so when people write or when people sign up and then never ever log in, there's no point for me to keep them on the server.
Now I feel bad, so I'm going to be an active member on your site.
You better be, or you're going to be gone.
Oh man,
the law has been laid down.
No, but I needed to free up some space, so I sent out a little message that said, "Hey, if you're not logging on, then I know that you're not here anymore, and I'm going to delete your account, and you can re-sign up if you want to." But
Shocking
I did
abuse
have
of authority.
Yeah, I have power issues. But I had to ban a couple of people. There were two people actually having an argument on the shout box where they were like threatening physical harm to one another.
God.
Wow.
Bobby and Jason, you both probably know one of the parties that was involved in that just from other websites. But and if you look real hard, you can notice that he's no longer on my website.
I've noticed.
So I'm not going to say names because I might get killed. And, But he is gone because he was fighting with another person on there, like literally being like, "I'm going to come over there and kick your butt." Yeah.
crazy.
So I just, rather than deal with that drama, I just I get rid of it. And then recently, unfortunately, I had to ban someone who was actually coming on the site and bashing me, and that was a major no-no. So
what did
that was my secret account? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
it wouldn't have worked because I banned the whole entire IP address as well,
Nice.
so you wouldn't have been able to get back on.
Man.
Yeah.
That's why I did it from the library.
The library's
That's
banned.
a good idea.
No, but yeah, that's actually something. After I have already posted the virtual hug comment, so now my next promise to you here on Strange Frequencies is that I will become a more active member of myghostnetwork.com.
As well,
actually, I do
I
love the
hope so.
site. I love the site, but I just every now and then I start.
Did you
backing out of my
create the
messages.
little logo?
Yes.
Did you draw it?
Yes, I did.
They're cute. The little ghosts hugging each other.
Yeah, well, I thought they were gonna, they needed to be buddies and stuff. That was the whole vision, was that everybody was gonna, be friendly to one another here. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work out like that.
You didn't want little ghost knife fighting up on the top? No.
I kind of do. So if
Okay.
anybody knows how to draw, please draw me the ghost knife fight.
Uh,
I'll be very happy.
So why do you think that happens on? Let's maybe drop a little sociology on people here. Why do you think people go on sites and flame one another? Do you think it's just in the paranormal field, or do you think that actually happens? Any kind of website that has like a forum post.
I think it happens everywhere. I think that it happens a lot in the paranormal field. Again, because for some reason I just think we're being infiltrated by so many new groups that are coming out because of the television shows. And people are just very territorial, and people are most people in general, they're just very, strong-minded and really believe in what they believe in. And anytime that anybody will question that kind of stuff, people can get nasty. But with bands, I used to have people bash me constantly because I used to be a booking agent for a venue in Philadelphia out here. And if I wouldn't book their band, they would completely destroy me on, music websites.
So you're not... This is nothing new.
No, it's not. But you know what? Because, again, music is something that people are passionately believe in.
Right.
And if I'm telling them that I don't think their band's good enough to play my venue, they're annoyed.
Yeah.
We're coming up to the close of the hour.
Oh, no.
But I want to ask her one more question. You just said all these groups coming out because of these ghost television shows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to say it again, as I said in the first hour of our show. I hate all of these shows. But how do you feel about all these groups coming out because of these shows? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
I definitely think it's a little bit of both. I think that it's great because it's made people more aware of what we do, and it's made people more aware and more accepting of all of this. But it's also really polluted a lot of things that we would have been able to do that we can't now. Because, for instance, anywhere that TAPS goes into, now we have to pay a ton of money to get in there.
Exactly.
And that's frustrating.
How many times have you been to Gettysburg?
Many. My husband's from Gettysburg, so we've been there a lot.
I heard that somewhere that there were some kids who disrespected something in Gettysburg, and now you're not even no longer allowed to investigate certain places in Gettysburg.
That's right. You're not allowed to investigate the actual battlefield, which is where mostly everything has happened. So it really kind of ruins the whole entire trip for a ghost hunter's perspective. But honestly, most of us, we're into paranormal investigating, but you got to be into history a little bit too to be involved in this. And
exactly.
It's just it's an incredible place to go to, regardless if you have your full spectrum camera in your hands or your whatever.
Right.
You just want to go there to experience it anyway. It sucks that kids are idiots and do things like that and disrespect things like that, but at the same time, you can still get whatever you need just by going in there during the day.
That's true.
And one last question.
Okay.
Where do you see the paranormal community in 5 years?
Oh wow! If it keeps going the way it's going now, it's gonna die out like any other fad, I think. And what we're going to be left over with is going to be the people that were really in it for the right reasons to begin with.
Well, I guess that means Phase 3 will be out.
You always badmouth our own group.
I'm allowed to.
But that's what I think. I mean, I think it's a huge fad right now for a lot of people. I hope that, you know, the really good ones stick around, and I hope that we can, you know, get further in this research like we're really intended to be doing at this point. So.
Awesome. Well, her website is www.myghostnetwork.com. I suggest everybody go there and make an account. And don't make it an account just to make the account and not be an active user.
Like Jason.
Or, as Robin has stated, you will be gone.
Be gone.
So we're going to go to a break. Hang on the line, okay?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Right. Thank you.
I've seen you once before. You were smiling in a picture. Now you smile with me happily on my bedroom floor. You'll be gone, I might be left to wonder what it could be like if this was able to go on. Oh, forever, no one other. I refuse to believe you when you leave. It'll be through. I know it will be hard enough for me to breathe without being around you. So many nights I spent just staring at you, imagining all of the things that we could eventually do. You ask me why I do this, but I can never explain. There's certain things to say that only my eyes can display. I'ma certainly hope that nothing goes unsaid. Maybe if we feel the same, you wouldn't have to leave me and have a broken heart again. I refuse to believe that when you leave, it'll be through. I know it will be hard enough for me to breathe without being around you.
And welcome back to Strange Frequencies on Para X Radio. And now we have Bobby with pissed off at the paranormal.
That's right. So my first gripe is, why does everybody in this field want to be a demonologist?
Everybody wants to be a demonologist, but no one actually wants to confront demons.
People claim to be demonologists and have never experienced a demon. They're not. Go ahead.
Or they see demons everywhere, like Ryan from Paranormal State.
Yes.
He walked into McDonald's, was like, "Oh my god, a demon!" I'm like, "No, Ryan, that's
the Hamburger
Grimace."
Oh.
No, but I mean, okay, everybody wants to be a demonologist. you see every group now, it seems like, has their own demonology department and everything. So you might be asking yourself, well, what is a real demonologist? Bobby, tell us what is an actual demonologist? How do you actually become a demonologist?
I don't know. I'm not a demonologist, but next week
that's right.
We will be talking to Archbishop James Long, who is a demonologist who got the title from the Catholic Church, I believe.
Oh, you mean the actual Catholic? He didn't just, read
Right.
a couple websites and call himself a demonologist.
Exactly. He didn't just read a little book and decided that he wanted to be a demonologist.
He's just going to start, I'm the head of the demonology department.
That drives me nuts.
I can spell the word demon. Can I become a demonologist?
Everybody wants... It drives me nuts, dude. I can't even put together words right now because I get so pissed off when I think about it.
Everyone wants to be a demonologist. Everyone thinks they want to, they're the master of that specific discipline in the paranormal field. Like, I'm a cryptozoologist, or yeah. I'm the specialist in demonology.
I think there's probably only a couple people that I would consider demonologists. One's John Zaffis and Archbishop James Long. Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head.
Was John Zaffis trained by the Catholic Church, or what?
I honestly do not know.
I mean, I don't know either, but yeah, I would think that,
I believe the word demonologist comes from the Catholic Church. It's like
to my understanding, yeah.
I believe they send in a demonologist, and if they say that there's a demon, then they send in the exorcist.
Right, yeah.
But, being a Catholic myself and went to school 12 years, Catholic school, I had the emotional scars to prove it. One thing I do know is they don't take this lightly. I mean, you have to be investigated for quite a while before they even consider an exorcist or an exorcism in general. I mean, in general, it's
insanely
very
rare.
hard. Yes.
Another thing that pisses me off is not only demonists, is everybody says they're exorcists. Like, there's this guy on television I just saw, and he says he's done like 2,000 exorcisms.
Yeah, I've seen
the power of Christ compels you.
It looked like he was just.
Where are you going?
I know. I know. There's a lot of people who say they're a demonologist, say they're an exorcist, but they have no experience. They have no background that would show anything that they're capable of doing. They don't know anything about demons. They couldn't probably name 3 demons. But they're going to do exorcism.
Sir, my child swears and smokes. Is that a demon? Yeah, that's a demon. That'll be $400, and we'll go ahead and take care of that for you.
That's pretty much what they do.
Gosh.
I mean,
it drives me nuts. And not only, what is the big craze with demons? People think their house is haunted by demons. They think that they hear footsteps upstairs. It must be a demon.
Well, it's partly because of Paranormal State. I'm sorry. I mean, when it's not even every other case. It's like most of their cases. He says, deal with demons, and he's like, well, he thinks there's a demon out there who hates him. Now, again, I'm a Catholic, though I'm not a very, very good one, but I do believe in angels, and do I believe in demons? I guess if they're angels, there's probably demons.
Right.
But at the same time, if you pissed off a powerful demon, don't you think he's going to do something?
Or don't you think you're going to know?
Yeah, don't you think you're going to know?
You're going to know.
Like, I just left, and look, my house is on fire. Look, my girlfriend's on fire.
My car has just been thrown across the front yard.
Yeah, exactly.
My refrigerator door opened. Must be a demon.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the power of the media, though. I mean, you see something on TV, and people start thinking they have a demon or whatever, and then it gets to the point where they're sitting at home and their dog is just looking up at the air or whatever at space, or their cat or whatever. Now my cats are retarded. That's what they do. They look up, they see a bug or whatever, so they stare at the ceiling.
Or shadow, even a change in light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A shadow, anything. I mean, cats' eyes are crazy good. I mean, they see a little bug, it changes the shadow, anything, and they're just staring up into space, seemingly at nothing. But that's enough right there for people to go, what is Sissy doing there? Well, obviously it's a demon.
Exactly. It drives me nuts, guys. a lot of people think they've had encounters with demons, and so they just call somebody up who think they're a demonologist. I don't get it.
I don't understand why.
Well, luckily enough, since Archbishop James Long is going to be here next week, we can ask him all the questions.
We can ask him all these questions.
What qualifies, what qualifies a person as a demonologist? What is actually, what is a demon? What is his definition of a demon?
Yeah, exactly.
How often do you think he comes across one himself?
I guess now I kind of can bite my tongue here because, what do other people consider demons?
Exactly.
Very true. Again, I think in the paranormal field in general, everything is subjective.
Right.
So.
Yeah, since there's no proof of anything, there's a lot of opinion and speculation. So what do people consider demons? I don't know. But, a lot of different things. But hopefully next week we'll be able to find out the answers to that, a lot more questions when we have Archbishop James Long on.
That's right.
Exactly.
A real demonologist.
And besides Archbishop James Long, who else we have coming up in the upcoming weeks?
Let's see. We got John Kachuba, who's an author of a few great books. One's titled Ghost Hunters, Ghost Hunting Illinois, Ghost Hunting Ohio. Nick Redfern, cryptozoologist and author.
Excellent.
We just booked Brad Steiger.
Oh, yes.
I'm very excited about that as well.
And who is Mr. Steiger?
Mr. Steiger is a paranormal investigator / author. Has very many titles under his belt, I'll tell you.
Book plug.
We also are going to have, to my understanding, we're going to have Mrs. Kelly Ryan, I believe.
I believe so, yes. She claims that she can prove through her own experience that Paranormal State did fake her investigation at her house.
Yeah, they
really.
Yeah, she's gone on record as saying that they have their own episode. I've actually just seen it, and she's saying a lot of the things in there were staged by the production crew or were otherwise just
Chip Coffee fake something.
Chippy is
Chip.
I like Chip Coffee. I'm sorry,
I think
guys.
he's a nice guy. I don't hate him personally. I just think he's fake.
No, you're a nice guy. But no offense, you're a fraud. But hey,
I like you as a person.
I like you as a person.
Man, Chip, if you're listening, I like you, buddy.
I like you too. I just think you're
a fraud.
I'm sorry, Chip.
I don't think so, Chip.
You think he's real? You think he has a gift?
Yeah.
Was that a wink?
No, it wasn't a wink.
No.
Okay. All right. It was a twitch of the eye. It was, muscle spasm. But yeah.
Chip, I love you. I love your show, Children of the Paranormal. I'm not gonna lie. I even love Paranormal State. I watch it all the time.
And that's why, part of this radio show, we all have different beliefs. No one's gonna get. We're not going to beat each other up just because somebody believes a different thing. As long as you have a reason behind it, I really don't care what you believe.
And also, like in the beginning, when we were talking about TAPS, it doesn't mean I hate TAPS. I still watch that show religiously.
Right. I wish nothing but good things for Jay Grant, for everybody associated with TAPS.
I just hate Paravision.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
I think it does more harm than good in this field. And that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to push it on anybody else. But
oh, yes, Jason, if people want to email us in, and so we can read their emails, and answer the questions on the air.
If you have questions for us or questions for future guests, anything maybe you have a suggestion you'd like to have us have on the show for a guest?
And go fuck yourself is not a good suggestion. That does not count.
Exactly.
Write us at strangefrequenciesradio@live.com. Again, that's Strange Frequencies. I'll spell frequencies just in case you're retarded. It's REQUENCIES. I hope I spelled that right or else I sound retarded. Strange Frequencies Radio@live.com. So give us a shout. Let us know what you thought of this show, what you want to see on future episodes, and any questions, comments you have.
And don't forget to visit our website at www.phase3paranormal.com. That's phase, the number 3, paranormal.com.
And go to our MySpace and become our friends.
MySpace.com/phase3paranormal. And, of course, we want to thank our guest today, Robin McKinney of My Ghost Network, myghostnetwork.com. Sign up and have fun with us. Say hello.
For Jason Corbis and Bobby Nelson, this is Matthew McGuire on Strange Frequencies on Para X Radio.
Hey, cloudy, I'm drowsy, I'm sorry, I'm lousy, confused and frustrated, since we've been separated. If only we could be happy together again. If only we could be happy together again. I know that I can't only we could be happy together again. If only we could be happy together again. If only we could be happy together again. If only we could be happy together again.
The music tonight was by a music group called Attacked by Wolves. If you like what you heard, you can visit them at myspace.com/attackedbywolves.